digital assets? Finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live, brought to you by freekeen.com. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, March 23rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.61 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,347 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $18, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,465. Antiwar.com reports President Trump made clear earlier this week during his meeting with the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman that U.S. arms sales to the Saudis are a top priority. Already, the State Department has announced another $1 billion in arms sales to the Saudis. The sales are going to include 6,600 TOW-2B missiles at a cost of about $670 million, with the rest of the contract coming in the form of various parts for U.S.-made vehicles previously sold to the Saudi military. The State Department justified the sale as an attempt to help the Saudis build up their military to maintain stability. Such sales need to be endorsed by both state and defense officials as having some U.S. national security component, though this is trivial since the administration's goals are so tied to increased arms sales. Saudi Arabia is the largest buyer of U.S. arms, but sales have been increasingly resisted in Congress because of the massive numbers of civilians killed in airstrikes against Yemen. Historically, the Saudis have been able to get sales approved, but the votes have in recent years gotten closer and closer.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports rent prices in the United States are rising at their fastest level in 21 months, according to a survey by Zillow. The survey found that the median rent rose 2.8% over the past year to $1,445 per month. The fastest rate increases occurred along the West Coast in Sacramento, California, Riverside, California, and Seattle, Washington. Sacramento saw the fastest rent rise with 8% since last February for an average of $1,849 per month. Home purchases have also suffered due to high mortgage rates, leading more people to opt to renting instead of buying. Zillow senior economist Aaron Terrazas said rental appreciation slowed between 2015 and mid-2017, but is once again picking up steam, re-accelerating over the past 9 months. For-sale inventory is tight, and with home prices continuing their rapid climb, it's becoming more and more difficult for renters to become owners, forcing them to rent longer than they otherwise would have. Searching for the right home has become a drawn-out affair, and rising prices require more saving for a down payment. Were it not for strong new apartment construction over the past half-decade, rental appreciation would be even stronger than it is now. According to CNBC, apartment occupancy around the country was at 95% at the end of 2017 and is expected to increase.
You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com.
Reuters reports the mayor of Sacramento, California, said on Thursday he was horrified by video showing police officers firing 20 gunshots at an unarmed man who was slain in his backyard. Police in Sacramento, the state capital, said the video from body cameras worn by officials involved in Sunday night's confrontation showed the victim, Stephen Clark, holding an object that was later discovered to be his cell phone. The video was released by police late on Wednesday, and by Thursday it had gone viral on the internet. More than 200 demonstrators gathered on Thursday to denounce discussed the shooting at a protest organized by the Black Lives Matter movement. The protest was orderly, and police allowed a group of demonstrators to march up an entrance ramp to interstate highways at the height of rush hour and block traffic. Organizers described shooting deaths of minorities by police as disturbingly commonplace. Mayor Darryl Steinberg said at a news conference, "Like any compassionate person, I was horrified by the death of a young Sacramento man who we later found out had 2 children. What was my reaction? It was horrible." Protesters marched into the City Hall lobby shouting, "It's a phone, not a gun," and demanded a meeting with the police chief. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
If he looks different than the other students on this college campus, it's because he's only 13 years old. But the amazing young Tyler is already consuming alcohol on the level of someone twice his age, and his talents have gotten him accepted at Ohio State University. We are lucky to be joined today by the little prodigy himself, along with Tyler's parents, Jack and Christine. Good morning, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Tyler, most kids your age are in middle school and probably think that alcohol doesn't taste good, but not you.
Yeah, I like to drink liquor or beer or whatever. There's way more beer at college than at my house.
I'll bet there is. Your professors and classmates, everyone there at OSU says you just fit right in. You must have a lot of new friends.
Yeah, I'm just like everybody else. I go to class, I show up wasted, I leave early.
Wow.
So many impressive moments. You're active in a fraternity. You've streaked at 4 baseball games. You've broken an arm falling off a house. You've even made the wall of shame at O'Hooligans.
That night was stupid crazy.
That was a special day.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and you're invited here to join us on the radio. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. If you want to take control of the airwaves, bring up anything, that is the point of the show, although we always bring things to the table to discuss here tonight, including Craigslist. Darryl, you're going to tell us they've canceled their personal ads, or will be canceling. We'll get to that and explain why Craigslist would make such a decision. But first, the story we mentioned Wednesday, but we never got a chance to cover, about the NSA and their tracking down of Bitcoin users, according to Edward Snowden's documents that apparently are still being released. He's got a lot of information. It's now been almost 5 years since
there were, I believe, terabytes of data.
Yeah, so
that's a lot.
Coming. The hits just keep coming. Sam Biddle reporting over at the Intercept.com. The internet paranoiacs drawn to Bitcoin have long indulged fantasies of American spies subverting the booming controversial digital currency. Increasingly popular among get-rich-quick speculators, Bitcoin started out as a high-minded project to make financial transactions public and mathematically verifiable, while also offering discretion. Governments with a vested interest in controlling how money moves would, some of Bitcoin's fierce advocates believed, naturally try and thwart the coming techno-libertarian financial order. And we've certainly seen that. I mean, we've reported here on Free Talk Live about Bitcoin since not quite the very beginning, but pretty early on. And the old guard, the government, the banking cartel, these people, they really have done a lot to try to badmouth Bitcoin, to badmouth cryptocurrencies, to try to make it sound like anybody who's involved with crypto is a terrorist or supports terrorism or is a drug dealer or is a child rapist or whatever.
Right.
And they've just really trotted out all kinds of lies. The most recent one apparently was something reported on a lot of media this week about there's child porn on the Bitcoin blockchain. And when I saw the headlines, I was a little freaked out as well, no doubt. I mean, that sounds like a pretty scary thing. But I thought, it doesn't make sense. I didn't think that you could put that much data into a Bitcoin transaction, and it turns out you can't. In fact, there are now stories out saying that child porn claim about the Bitcoin blockchain was fake news.
Yes.
And then they get into the explanation of you can only put like 80 bytes in a certain area, 80 bytes of data in a specific area in certain Bitcoin transactions, and there's no way you could put image data that would be 80 bytes that could possibly even be visible.
Right. So in theory, somebody could put, say, a torrent hash in a transaction, and then the torrent hash could contain, child pornography or something.
They could, but that would be the tantamount to having a link on a website somewhere, which could be illegal in the United States soon. I mean, not to say that wouldn't be made illegal, but it's not the same thing as having an actual image in the
right.
blockchain.
And I was thinking about this earlier today because I may or may not have been using a torrent client for something, but I was wondering, what's
not illegal to use a torrent client.
What's the probability that a torrent hash and a Bitcoin transaction ID would wind up being the same thing? Because they're all just like random strings of letters and numbers.
They look random, but they're not, right? So they are a hash, which is some sort of mathematical extraction representation of the data pattern within a certain file. So when you check a hash of a file, you're checking to see if that file matches the hash on that file matches the file that you supposedly got from the server.
Right.
And the idea there is that the people who are sending you that file want to make sure that you got the actual file rather than some hacker coming in there and putting their own version of the file in there. So it's like a checking verification thing. So it looks random when you look at it, but there is some meaning to those.
Right, I know there's a computer program that figures out where to put the things.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I look at a Bitcoin transaction ID or a dash or any cryptocurrency transaction. Appears to be random string of letters and numbers. Torrent hashes, random string of letters and numbers.
I get what you're saying. I would say fairly unlikely, given the number of potential options, which is why you can't just randomly hit a bunch of Bitcoin addresses, just randomly make private keys and make any money at that, because there's, I don't know, a quadrillion billion different options that you could possibly generate.
Right.
So anyway, the point being here that the government are absolutely interested in thwarting Bitcoin. I mean, they don't like the fact that it's out there. It is absolutely a threat.
Because they don't control it. Just like they don't like people using gold and silver as a medium of exchange.
That's why they confiscated it at one point. And they very well could do that again. And they would love to be able to confiscate all the Bitcoin. It's just that it's set up in a decentralized fashion to where that's an impossibility. So, going on with Sam Biddle over at The Intercept, it turns out the conspiracy theorists were onto something. Classified documents provided by whistleblower Edward Snowden show that the National Security Agency indeed worked urgently to target Bitcoin users around the world and wielded at least one mysterious source of information to, quote, help track down senders and receivers of Bitcoins, unquote, according to a top-secret passage in an internal NSA report dating to March 2013. The data source appears to have leveraged the NSA's ability to harvest and analyze raw global internet traffic while also exploiting an unnamed software program that purportedly offered anonymity to users, according to other documents.
And I just got a message from Chris Reitman, one of our Thursday co-hosts. He's listening to the show. He said, and there were allegedly URLs, so not just like a hash of something on the blockchain, a straight
URL,
but also allegedly URLs that linked to.
Right. That's, again, they could outlaw that, and there certainly have been people who've been put in prison for linking to things. Remember that guy, Barrett Brown, who went to prison because he linked to some piracy stuff or whatever it was in a chat room somewhere? I forget what the issue was there.
No, it wasn't piracy. He had linked... there was information had been
government documents
taken from, kind of, not really, a company called Stratfor.
Yeah.
And
they work with the CIA, right?
They have a lot of government contracts,
right?
And he posted a link from one chat room to another chat room of where people could find the information from Stratfor.
Some sort of top secret info or whatever, and so they came after him for it. For posting a link, and he went to prison over that. So
he was never charged with hacking the info. He was never charged with storing the info because he never hacked the info, nor did he store the info.
In that case, it was an outrageous case. In that case, they didn't arrest the chat room operator, though, right? Like the person who, at least not that we heard of,
right?
Whoever it was that was running that IRC server, the chat server on which he posted that link, that person was not targeted or arrested that we have heard of.
Correct.
So in the same way, the people running the blockchain, the thousands of people running the blockchain, they can't control who puts data into the blocks or whatever, that wherever this information is being stored. And ultimately, it's not a child porn photo, even if it is a link to such a thing. That's not the same thing as possession of the photo. So at this point, it's still fake news about this Bitcoin porn.
And it was probably the FBI that put it there anyway.
There's a good chance of that. Yeah. So, although the agency here was interested in surveilling some competing cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin is number one priority, according to a 2013 internal NSA report. The documents indicate that tracking down Bitcoin users went well beyond closely examining Bitcoin's public transaction ledger, known as the blockchain, where users are typically referred to through anonymous identifiers. The tracking may also have involved gathering intimate details of those users' computers. The NSA collected some Bitcoin users' password information, internet activity, and a type of unique device identification number known as a MAC address. The MAC address will identify any network device on a network. Uniquely.
Correct. And there's a way, and I don't know how to do this, but I know that there's a way to spoof a Mac ID to where it winds up making it appear that you're using a different device, which is one of the ways that Aaron Schwartz was able to download so much stuff from, was it JSTOR?
I don't know.
And then he wound up
himself
because he was facing like 35,000 years in prison.
There's more coming up here about the NSA snooping on Bitcoin users. Are you scared? Is that going to keep you from adopting the cryptocurrency that is changing the world? The toll-free, that's what they'd really like, is for you to get scared. 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up what you want. This is Free Talk Live.
This is Darryl W. Perry, host of Free Talk Live. This November, I'll be running in the world's biggest and most popular marathon, the New York City Marathon, and I've accepted a spot on Team Innocence Project because I'm a passionate supporter of their work. Since 1989, 353 people in the United States have been exonerated by DNA testing, including 38 who pled guilty to crimes they did not commit, and 20 of whom served time on death row. The Innocence Project provided direct representation or critical assistance in 180 of these cases. With your help, the Innocence Project can help even more people who have been wrongly convicted. As part of Team Innocence Project, I'm raising awareness about wrongful convictions and raising funds to help free the innocent. I've already paid the race registration fees. However, to secure my spot on Team Innocence Project in the New York City Marathon, I need to raise $3,500 by November 1st. You can support the Innocence Project and help me secure my race entry by going to run.freetalklive.com. You've heard of Bitcoin Cash, but did you know there's now a Bitcoin Cash wallet? The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com. Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com.
Free Talk Live.
Having spent 8 years, 6 months, and 21 days of my life in the Florida State prison system, I'm going to say that the incidences of rape are much, much exaggerated in the media. I'm sure it happened.
It makes for interesting television shows.
Yeah. I mean, all the things that I've seen on Oz, I saw in prison, but I was there for 9 years. So, if I saw one incidence of violence where somebody got their ear bit off, okay, it didn't happen every episode.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, it is a public perception, though, and people, It's almost a joke, or it's like a wink and a nod.
Yeah, sure.
Bubba's going to get you when you go to prison.
That's exactly the idea. As though sodomy somehow fixes people's broken minds. Right. That's not where they're putting that thing. So, I mean, it's not gonna jostle anything around and fix it.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
How many lawyers does it take to change a light bulb? None. They'd rather keep their clients in the dark. There are too many lawyer jokes to count. However, there are some lawyers with more noble intentions. At the Institute for Justice, we bring the light to our clients. We are a non-profit public interest law firm with clear values and principles. At IJ, we fight for those whose most basic rights are denied by the government. Visit our website today at ij.org.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free, bring up whatever you want. Our number 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Skype username's lrn.fm. If you want to call us there, you'll sound almost like you're in the studio with us. And another great way to connect to the show is through our Discord, which is a chat service. It's available to you around the clock. Free Talk Live listeners are in the Free Talk Live room right now chatting, but there's other rooms in there, including the on-air call-in line room. So if you want to call us through Discord, you can do that too over at discord.lrn.fm. And I dare say that Discord sounds better than Skype. I think that the whatever codec they're using on Discord is just a better sounding codec than the Skype one. But that's just my experience so far. And we're still pretty new to Discord, so check that out, discord.lrn.fm. We are talking about cryptocurrency, so perfect time to tell you about bitcoin.com, which is where I had gone to, which is the news site at news.bitcoin.com, to get the story about the fake news. So it was bitcoin.com's news site that reported on this claim that there's child pornography on the Bitcoin blockchain somehow. This was being reported in news sites all over the place earlier this week, and it was news.bitcoin.com that put that one to rest.
Yes.
And said this is fake news. They talked to some of the experts. They explained why it was fake news. So if you want to get the latest news headlines about Bitcoin, go to news.bitcoin.com from around the globe. And then also, if you're brand new to Bitcoin, you want to learn about cryptocurrency, go and get started over at bitcoin.com. It's a great place to learn the basics. Once again, that's bitcoin.com. We are talking about the NSA and some documents that Edward Snowden has leaked out, and they're still coming to public view. The documents citing some 2013 NSA memos saying that they have been tracking down Bitcoin users. They've been doing more than just looking at the blockchain, which is the public ledger that is the guts behind the Bitcoin network. They've been trying to gather details of the users' computers, such as password information, internet activity, and identification information like MAC addresses. The memo also suggested tracking their IP addresses, network ports, and timestamps to identify so-called Bitcoin targets. That does sound ominous. The agency appears, as according to TheIntercept.com, to have wanted even more data. The March 29th memo from 2013 raised the question of whether the data source validated its users and suggested that the agency retain Bitcoin information in a file named provider-user-full.csv. It also suggested powerful search capabilities against Bitcoin targets, hinting that the NSA may have been using its X-Keyscore searching system, where the Bitcoin information and wide range of other NSA data was cataloged, to enhance its information on Bitcoin users. An NSA reference document indicated that the data source provided, quote, user data such as billing information and internet protocol addresses, unquote. With this sort of information in hand, putting a name to a given Bitcoin user would be easy. And the NSA's budding Bitcoin spy operation looks to have been enabled by its unparalleled ability to siphon traffic from the physical cable connections that form the internet and ferry its traffic around the planet. As of 2013, the NSA's Bitcoin tracking was achieved through a program codenamed Oakstar, a collection of covert corporate partnerships enabling the agency to monitor communications, including by harvesting internet data as it traveled along fiber optic cables that undergird the internet. Specifically, the NSA targeted Bitcoin through Monkey Rocket, a sub-program of Oakstar, which tapped network equipment to gather data from the Middle East, Europe, South America, and Asia, according to classified descriptions. As of the spring of 2013, Monkey Rocket was the sole source of SigDev for the Bitcoin targets. I don't know what SigDev means. The March 29th NSA report stated using the term for signals intelligence development, whatever that means, to indicate the agency had no other way to surveil Bitcoin users. The data obtained through Monkey Rocket is described in the documents as full-take surveillance, meaning the entirety of data passing through a network was examined and at least some entire data sessions were stored for later analysis. At the same time, Monkey Rocket is also described in the documents as a, quote, non-Western internet anonymization service with a significant user base in Iran and China. With the program brought online in summer of 2012, it's unclear what exactly this product was, but it would appear that it was promoted on the internet under false pretenses. The NSA notes that part of its long-term strategy for Monkey Rocket was to, quote, attract targets engaged in terrorism, including Al-Qaeda, toward using this browsing product, which the NSA can then exploit. The scope of the targeting would then expand beyond terrorists. Whatever this piece of software was, it functioned as a privacy bait-and-switch, tricking Bitcoin users into using a tool they thought would provide anonymity online, but was actually funneling data directly to the NSA. So that's kind of spooky. The suggestion being the NSA has put out, in 2012, some kind of software that was manipulating people through social engineering to get them to think that it was an anonymizing software of some sort, but it was in fact
well, you don't need to use
NSA.
social engineering to get somebody to believe that a thing does a thing. You just wind up putting in a phony about for a product.
Well, yeah, you're lying to people. That's the engineering. Yeah.
Okay,
when you engineer somebody, you're lying to that
when I think social engineering, I think you wind up having a bunch of people, sort of like play along.
No, it can be as simple as somebody calling a tech support or calling some sort of customer service department and pretending as though they're somebody else. And that's, social engineering. Or saying that they're with the company and they need you to give them your password to the back-end system or whatever. I'm with tech support from Comcast. I need you to give me the username and password to get into the admin because we're locked out over here in the coastal offices or whatever. You make some crap up that sounds believable, and then you fool the person on the line into just doing what you say to do. Anyway.
Okay, so you're talking about scamming. They were scamming people.
That's another term for social engineering. Yeah. The idea is you get access to information you otherwise wouldn't have been able to get access to by scamming somebody.
Because
the new term for that is social engineering.
Okay, yeah, that's not the definition of social engineering.
No?
Just pulled up definition. The use of social engineering definition. The use of centralized planning in an attempt to manage social change and regulate the future development and behavior of society.
You're talking about from a larger standpoint. I'm talking about on the individual level of getting information from a person.
Scamming. You're talking about scamming.
There's a new term for that, Darryl, and it's called social engineering. You'll hear it used out there, not in the way that you've just described, but in the way that I've described, to take advantage of somebody. It is absolutely a scam. There's no doubt about it. But for whatever reason, people in the tech business have started calling that social engineering when it comes to...
Because it sounds better than scamming.
I guess, yeah. I'm just letting you know. There is another definition for social engineering, and it is as I described. So anyway, going on here. The NSA, the hypothesis the NSA would launch an entire operation overseas under false pretenses just to track targets is pernicious, said Matthew Green, assistant professor at Johns Hopkins University Information Security Institute. Such a practice could spread distrust of privacy software in general. Yeah, no kidding. Particularly in areas like Iran, where such tools are desperately needed by dissidents. This, quote, feeds a narrative that the U.S. is untrustworthy, and that worries him, he says.
Of course the United States government is not trustworthy.
The NSA declined to comment. Surprise, surprise. For the article, the Bitcoin Foundation, a nonprofit advocacy organization, could not immediately comment. And we'll tell you more here about the attack against Bitcoin. There's more, and you can share your thoughts with us. 855-450-FREE, like freedom. And you can join us on the radio here. This is Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com. The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. Dial on in toll free. Bring up anything that you want. Our number here is 855-450. Free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype as well. You can Skype in at Skype username LRN.FM. Plus, you can join us on the Discord on-air call-in line. The Discord line is over at discord.lrn.fm. It's the first chat room on our list there. As we continue talking about cryptocurrency and the NSA targeting Bitcoin users. In fact, coming up with some sort of a tool that is not really defined in the documents that have been released by Edward Snowden called Monkey Rocket, which was full-take surveillance examining data from basically the entirety of data passing through certain networks, garnering lots of information about specific targets. They were able to get people to install this program that basically turned over their data to the NSA by acting as though it was some sort of a privacy program, when in point of fact it was actually provided by the NSA and gave them a direct tap into to information that they otherwise wouldn't have had or as easily have had access. So that's definitely a concern is, if you're using a program out there that purports to be privacy-oriented, how do you really know? You would have to be a programmer, and you'd have to be able to examine the open source of the program itself. Plus, you'd also have to decompile the software and make sure that they had actually, or hash the software to make sure that they had actually properly compiled the very program they were giving you. Because if I give you code, Darryl, and say, here's my open source, here's the source for my program, and then I give you the program, but I actually compiled the program with different code that has a backdoor cooked into it, if you don't compare the compiled version of the code that I gave you to the version, the actual executable program.
Yep. So I'm going to take all of the code and put it into diff checker, and then go through and see all the places where it's different.
It can be checked, and there are ways to do it, not the way you're describing, that are probably a little bit more simple for a programmer type. But if you don't have a programmer
I'm not
type,
a programmer,
right.
So otherwise I'm just looking at random strings of characters.
Right. If you don't have a programmer type that you trust, there's basically no real way to verify that any of the programs that claim to be privacy-oriented are, in point of fact, actually caring about your privacy.
Right, but one way that you can kind of trust people is if you know what their leanings are.
Correct. If you know that person, and for instance, our guy Chris is not here tonight, Chris Wade from thinkpenguin.com. He is a privacy nut with online, and I totally believe that he's not working for the NSA.
Right.
Just because I buy his story, and we work with him, and we're close to him, and we know him. He's been here for almost 2 years now at this point. He's not just some stranger walking in off the street saying he's got the next greatest thing for privacy.
Right, but I'm thinking, specifically about Zencash, where we know that the people behind that are voluntarist. They wrote it into their white paper.
They claim to be voluntarist. I don't know them personally, so I could not say for sure.
I know people that know them.
Okay, all right. That's getting a little closer, but, there's some people who know Kevin Bacon out there, and that still doesn't mean I know anything about him, 6 degrees of separation. It's down to, I think I've heard it's down to like 1 degree or 2 degrees since the internet or something like that.
Probably 2 or 3.
Yeah, with Kevin Bacon. So you can comment here. And also, you mentioned Zencash, Darryl. It is worth talking about Zencash because they are one of the privacy options out there. We've discussed how the NSA has been cracking into Bitcoin, trying to find out where the users are, who the users are of Bitcoin by analyzing various different data. Well, part of the data that they're looking at is the public blockchain. And that's one of the, you can look at it as a benefit of Bitcoin, is that you can analyze the blockchain, and it is public, and it is auditable to some extent. But some people do want to have privacy, and privacy is important to those people. If you're one of those people and you value privacy, then you really ought to look into Zencash because it's had privacy built into it from day one. It's got the zero-knowledge anonymity system. It's also got decentralized autonomous organizations that they're working on to help govern the currency. So it's got some of the best technology that has been successful in other cryptocurrencies. They launched it in 2017. As you mentioned, the founders are voluntarists. They've written that into the white paper, which I've never heard about happening before. So if there is another white paper that talks about voluntarism, I'd like to know which ones do. So far, all I've heard about is Zencash. And it's a platform not just for cryptocurrency, but also for communication. So encrypted messages can be sent over the Zencash system, the Zencash blockchain. You go to zencash.com. You can learn more about it there. Once again, that's zencash.com.
Now, I pulled up an article from Cointelegraph about this monkey rocket thing.
The secretive, unknown monkey rockets.
Yeah,
NSA
and
program.
The article that you read said, we don't really know a lot about what it is other than it's a sub-program of something called Oakstar.
Yeah.
Cointelegraph says that it was being promoted as a VPN-like service.
The monkey rocket was.
Yes. And the NSA documents described Monkey Rocket as, quote, a non-Western internet anonymization service in support of counterterrorism. They also said currently there are approximately 16,000 registered users, and the site is generating about 2,000 events per day.
Wait, it's still operating?
No, this is the documents.
Oh, okay.
That it might still be operating. Yeah. I don't know.
Right, because it's not clear. Monkey Rocket is the code name for whatever the software is, so we don't know. It may still be out there violating people's privacy while they think that it's providing them privacy.
Right.
Which is scary.
It says that Iran and China are two of the countries with significant user bases.
Yeah, so who is running this Monkey Rocket? Is it a VPN service? And if you're buying VPN from somebody, you almost never know who you're buying it from, right? Like who runs the VPN company that you use? If you use a VPN thinking, oh, well, this is providing me an extra layer of safety. Well, not if it's being run by the CIA or the NSA.
Right.
So, and I imagine a lot of the companies are not exactly too forward with who their operators are, because if they are running VPN services, then they may be targets. Like if they're running a legitimate VPN service, they may be targeted by governments of the world like the NSA. But back to the story here about the NSA and them trying to garner as much information as possible about Bitcoin users. This is from The Intercept. Although many practical benefits and advantages, or although it offers many practical benefits and advantages over traditional currency, a crucial part of Bitcoin's promise is its decentralization. There is no bank of Bitcoin. There's no single entity that keeps track of the currency or its spenders. There's no corporation. Bitcoin is often misunderstood as being completely anonymous. In fact, each transaction is tied to publicly accessible ID codes included in the blockchain. And Bitcoin exchange companies typically require banking or credit card information to convert Bitcoin to dollars or euros. But Bitcoin does offer far greater privacy than traditional payment methods, which require personal information up to and including a social security number, or must be linked to a payment method that does require such information. So, for instance, in order to create a Bitcoin wallet, you don't have to ask anyone's permission. There's no application process to create a Bitcoin wallet. The most difficult part of that is downloading and installing the Bitcoin software. So you and I were just talking off the air about the new Edge wallet, which I really like, but unfortunately, like some of the wallets out there, it seems to only be designed for newer devices. So devices running, I believe, from what I've seen so far, I've tried it on 4 different devices, and only 2 of the 4 have actually worked, different Android devices. The 2 that have worked have had newer than Android 5. So my one device with Android version 5 would not install it. The device with Android 6 and the one with 8, both were able to install it. So anything under 6, it seems like Edge Wallet's not going to work with it.
I need to look to see what I think I'm running. Some version of 6 or 7, but when I looked in the Play Store earlier today, it said in the Play Store,
not for your device,
not compatible with your device.
Yeah, well, we can check that during the break if you want to do that here. But but it's getting the wallet's the tricky part sometimes. Right. But there's always some kind of wallet that will work for your device, and so finding the wallet, installing the wallet, that's the trickiest part. Once you get the wallet installed and up and running, you're good to go, and you never had to ask anybody's permission.
Android 5.1.
I bet you that's why. So the toll-free number here is 855-450 free like freedom, but Koinomi still works for you, right?
Yeah.
That one seems to have a much wider range of adaptability between the different Android systems. So if you're looking for a good multi-crypto wallet, Koinomi and Edge Wallet are right now, I think, the 2 top options out there. Because Edge, for sure, because they're on iOS, and Koinomi still hasn't yet gotten their iOS version. More coming up. It's Free Talk Live.
I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org. What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
ID Stronghold wallets are different. They may look the same on the outside. They're stylish, they'll hold your cards and cash, but they're hiding something great on the inside. No, there are no pyrotechnics, and it doesn't sing when you open it. But it does have magical powers. ID Stronghold wallets protect your critical information and identity from thieves standing right next to you. Anyone can buy a cheap RFID scanner online and snag your information just by walking past you. Contactless credit cards, debit cards, even your work ID badge. ID Stronghold was the first to pioneer RFID blocking technology over 12 years ago. ID Stronghold's wallets, sleeves, and badge holders are trusted by the U.S. military and the Executive Office of the President, something the competitors can't say. Secure your identity and save 10% by using coupon code MAGIC at checkout for a limited time at idstronghold.com. idstronghold.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Boost Kid Essentials Nutritionally Complete Drink, providing your picky eater with essential nutrition and great taste in one drink. Visit us at kidessentials.com. To make sure your kids eat healthy, follow the 5-a-day plan. Serve 3 servings of vegetables and 2 servings of fruit daily. Remember, a serving could just mean a piece of fruit or a half cup of veggies. If your kids are picky eaters, ask a nutritionist about other sources. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us on the radio here. We're talking about Bitcoin and specifically the NSA's interest in Bitcoin. They want to find out more about Bitcoin users, and this was circa 2013, these documents that have come out. So it's been 5 years basically since these documents were written that Edward Snowden has leaked out back when he probably leaked them back in 2013, but they're just now getting around to reporting on them because it was a literal treasure trove of
terabytes
that they put out. And it's Ian and Darryl in the studio, but we're actually joined by a special guest co-host here tonight. Many of you who are longtime listeners of Free Talk Live will recognize his voice. He's Gene, the Christian Anarchist. Hey, Gene.
Hello, guys. Glad to be with you.
You got a good radio voice, man. You've got a nice sound. Have you ever done radio before?
Only here as a call-in.
Really? All right. Well, it sounds great having you here in the studio. You're visiting New Hampshire on a trip with your family, going various different places and such, and you came through here.
Yeah, I wanted to make a trip up here. I've been talking about it for years and finally decided to get up here.
So were you listening on the way up to the studio here tonight? Have you heard the discussion about the NSA?
I was listening.
All right, so we're going to pick that up where we left off, which is in the Intercept story revealing all of this information. We've learned so far that the NSA in 2013, and presumably still is, operating some form of what they're advertising as a privacy software, privacy service. Perhaps it's a VPN. It's not made exactly clear what this, what was it,
Monkey Rocket.
Monkey Rocket. But they're basically trying to bring people who want privacy into this service so they can then completely violate their privacy and learn all kinds of things about them. So we've learned that, but we don't know what Monkey Rocket is because they don't identify in these documents that came out which particular internet service this is. So maybe it's still out there operating. So if you don't know who runs your VPN, it may very well be the NSA that's providing you with that service. So now they're talking about the blockchain and how it's easy to get on Bitcoin, but it's not anonymous. As soon as you identify you having a particular Bitcoin wallet, well, your anonymity is completely gone. If you start a Bitcoin wallet through a trusted VPN, through Tor or something like if you layer VPN on top of Tor, then you may have some anonymity.
I've heard some stuff in the last week or so that I don't know if Tor could be considered a trusted entity anymore.
You think that's government too?
Apparently the Tor project gets some money from the federal government.
Well, originally, wasn't it DARPA that created Tor or something like that?
Originally, DARPA created the entire thing that we call the internet. But when the Tor project is getting money directly from the federal government, then that does bring into question whether or not they're actually securing all of the stuff they say they're securing.
Well, once again, it's up to the coders to get in there and audit the code and make sure that it is honest and that's not actually a backdoor to the NSA that they've programmed in there. Gene, I know that you're a technical systems administrator for a medical office. Are you dealing with privacy issues? You concerned with the NSA?
I know enough to get myself in trouble, but I suspect that there are backdoors in pretty much everything that we have. All of the routers, all of the backbone, the infrastructure. I think it's all.
They got you dead to rights.
I think so. Yeah. If you end-to-end encrypt, you're probably fairly safe, but...
So PGP.
Yeah.
Which, there are other encryption options out there, but PGP seems to be the best one out there, even after all these years.
Well, my inner conspiracy theorist is now going to say, but you can't really trust that it's being encrypted when you're typing the message into your PGP encryption thing.
Correct. If they've got a keyboard logger or something on your system and they're able to get you as you're typing it into the PGP, you're right, they could completely have you from...
Or they just need your password. Right.
So furthermore, says The Intercept, it's possible to conduct private Bitcoin transactions that don't require exchange brokers or personal information. As explained in the 2009 white paper launching Bitcoin, quote, the public can see that someone is sending an amount to someone else, but without information linking the transaction to anyone, unquote. Again, unless you go public with, hey, this is my Bitcoin address, then nobody really knows for sure who has which addresses unless they can link you to an IP, which of course the NSA has been trying to do. For Bitcoin adherents around the world, this ability to transact secretly is part of what makes the currency so special and such a threat to the global financial status quo. But the relative privacy of Bitcoin transactions has naturally frustrated governments around the world and law enforcement in particular. It's hard to follow the money to criminals when the money is designed to be more difficult to follow. In a November 2013 letter to Congress, one Homeland Security official wrote that, quote, with the advent of virtual currencies and the case with which financial transactions, the ease with which financial transactions can be exploited by criminal organizations, DHS has recognized the need for an aggressive posture toward this evolving trend. Now, luckily, we haven't seen any attempts to actually outlaw Bitcoin in the United States. We have seen the Bit license pop up in New York, which is unfortunate. That has driven a lot of business that is cryptocurrency related out of New York. But we've seen the opposite happen in New Hampshire, where a Bit Bitcoin protection bill was passed in 2017, signed by the governor here, protecting cryptocurrency-only transactions from being considered money transmission here in the state of New Hampshire.
Yes.
And that has attracted Bitcoin businesses here and other cryptocurrency businesses to New Hampshire. So there's a range of differences between the different states and how they're handling this. In the case of New Hampshire, we actually have state representatives and state senators who are Bitcoiners.
Yes.
So we've got people in the state legislature who normally are completely out of touch with, technology and don't know anything about what they're talking about. But there are some exceptions to that rule, and they are the people who are helping mold any kind of future legislation on cryptocurrency here in New Hampshire. So I think we've got a better status. But if the federal government wants to outlaw Bitcoin, that's going to cause a problem.
Right, and
they haven't done that yet, thank goodness.
They haven't, and I don't know how much luck they would have actually, implementing such a ban.
Well, I mean, if it's a war on Bitcoin, then anybody who's accepting Bitcoin, they could target, right? They could go after any business owner that is openly promoting their acceptance of Bitcoin. So it would shut down, effectively, all the public Bitcoin acceptance. It would all be shoved underground. I mean, they could do that if they wanted to.
Well, they're already doing that with the credit card transactions for gun dealers, or they're starting to.
What do you mean?
It was Citibank, I think. Citicard.
Where they're going to decline?
Yeah, they're telling gun shops and gun sales organizations, whoever's selling guns, gun shops, gun dealers mostly, I guess, that they better follow these specific rules. In other words, no guns to anyone under 21, no bump stocks, background checks for every purchase, whether it's required or not.
Yeah.
And if they don't, and if they check on you and find out you're not doing that, they will take away your credit card transactions. And who can do business today without a credit card machine?
It's hard.
It's almost impossible.
That's interesting because it's using
cannabis businesses. They do business without credit card machines because it's also federally illegal.
And right.
You'll have to use cash. And then what are they going to do if you've got $20,000 in cash in your drawer? The feds come in, they take the $20,000 in cash.
Yeah.
Oh, we believe you're doing something illegal.
Yeah.
Prove you're not.
That money is ours now. Prove you're not. Oh, and you tried to go to the bank twice today. Now you're structuring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and also the credit card companies and Citibanks and Bank of America's are also declining Bitcoin purchases as well.
Yeah.
And then you add into that news the fact that Facebook has banned Bitcoin advertisements, and now Google has banned Bitcoin or cryptocurrency related advertisements. That's a story we have not covered here on Free Talk Live, but I popped it in my show prep a couple weeks ago. That's a couple weeks old at this point, and there was a dip in the Bitcoin price after that happened. Now, again, Bitcoin's come back from all of these hits. I mean, it's whether it's the Chinese government or the U.S. government or the credit card companies, whatever it is that they try to throw at it, it's managed to come back from whatever price dips that have happened afterwards.
As long as people are willing to come back and use it. But
correct.
There's a pressure point, and we don't know what it is, but there is a pressure point where people will actually stop.
Yeah, absolutely. And thankfully, the government has not put that level of pressure on the cryptocurrency. Green told The Intercept he believes the browsing product component of Monkey Rocket sounds a lot like a virtual private network, or VPN. They encrypt and reroute your internet traffic to mask what you're doing on the internet. Supposedly.
Right.
But there's a catch. You have to trust the company that provides you the VPN because they provide both software and an ongoing networking service that potentially allows them to see where you're going online and even intercept some of your traffic.
Oh, there's no doubt they're rerouting the traffic through Monkey Rocket. They're routing it through the NSA servers.
That's right. An unscrupulous VPN, like one operated by the NSA, would have complete access to everything that you do online. So again, who do you trust? 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up what you want here. We got more on Monkey Rocket, the NSA spying on Bitcoin users. On the way here, hour number 2 is coming up. We got Gene the Christian Anarchist in the house.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, March 23rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.61 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,347 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $18, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,465. Antiwar.com reports President Trump made clear earlier this week during his meeting with the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman that U.S. arms sales to the Saudis are a top priority. Already, the State Department has announced another $1 billion in arms sales to the Saudis. The sales are going to include 6,600 TOW-2B missiles at a cost of about $670 million, with the rest of the contract coming in the form of various parts for U.S.-made vehicles previously sold to the Saudi military. The State Department justified the sale as an attempt to help the Saudis build up their military to maintain stability. Such sales need to be endorsed by both state and defense officials as having some U.S. national security component, though this is trivial since the administration's goals are so tied to increased arms sales. Saudi Arabia is the largest buyer of U.S. arms, but sales have been increasingly resisted in Congress because of the massive numbers of civilians killed in airstrikes against Yemen. Historically, the Saudis have been able to get sales approved, but the votes have in recent years gotten closer and closer.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports rent prices in the United States are rising at their fastest level in 21 months, according to a survey by Zillow. The survey found that the median rent rose 2.8% over the past year to $1,445 per month. The fastest rate increases occurred along the West Coast in Sacramento, California, Riverside, California, and Seattle, Washington. Sacramento saw the fastest rent rise with 8% since last February for an average of $1,849 per month. Home purchases have also suffered due to high high mortgage rates, leading more people to opt to renting instead of buying. Zillow senior economist Aaron Terrazas said rental appreciation slowed between 2015 and mid-2017, but is once again picking up steam, re-accelerating over the past 9 months. For-sale inventory is tight, and with home prices continuing their rapid climb, it's becoming more and more difficult for renters to become owners, forcing them to rent longer than they otherwise would have. Searching for the right home has become a drawn-out affair, and rising prices require more saving for a down payment. Were it not for strong new apartment construction over the past half-decade, rental appreciation would be even stronger than it is now. According to CNBC, apartment occupancy around the country was at 95% at the end of 2017 and is expected to increase.
You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com.
Reuters reports the mayor of Sacramento, California, said on Thursday he was horrified by video showing police officers firing 20 gunshots at an unarmed man who was slain in his backyard. Police in Sacramento, the state capital, said the video from body cameras worn by officials involved in Sunday night's confrontation showed the victim, Stephen Clark, holding an object that was later discovered to be his cell phone. The video was released by police late on Wednesday, and by Thursday it had gone viral on the internet. More than 200 demonstrators gathered on Thursday to denounce the shooting in a protest organized by the Black Lives Matter movement. The protest was orderly, and police allowed a group of demonstrators to march up an entrance ramp to interstate highways at the height of rush hour and block traffic. Organizers described shooting deaths of minorities by police as disturbingly commonplace. Mayor Darryl Steinberg said at a news conference, "Like any compassionate person, I was horrified by the death of a young Sacramento man who we later found out had 2 children. What was my reaction? It was horrible." Protesters marched into the City Hall lobby shouting, "It's a phone, not a gun," and demanded a meeting with the police chief. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
But first, our parenting expert, Rebecca McCallum, is here with some advice.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Rebecca. Now, Rebecca runs a popular parenting blog called Mom Magic.
That's right. It's about the everyday parenting choices that could make a big difference on our children.
Rebecca, I read the blog a lot. My first question is, who the hell do you think you are telling me how to raise my kids?
You know, I have a degree in early childhood education, but my greatest education has been raising 3 beautiful kids of my own.
Okay, Rebecca, what other bullshit do you have the nerve to share with us this morning?
I talk about this in my book, and it does take a lot of effort, but parents really should teach their child a second language. My daughter Hazel and I are learning French together.
Wow, you know, I'll bet a lot of moms watching right now are thinking, you.
Well, I get that a lot, but the window during which language acquisition skills are at their peak is really
whatever.
very small.
I wish I had done that. You win, but guess what I just remembered? You're not my boss.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. Of course, you're invited to join us on the radio here as we launch into the second hour of the show. We're talking about more spying. The NSA, they're at it again. Well, they've been at it. And, of course, Edward Snowden has revealed more information from, again, circa 2013, 2012 documents that he had originally released back in 2013, now coming to light about the NSA doing a lot of tracking as much as they can on Bitcoin users. We'll tell you more about that on the way here tonight. It's Ian and Darryl as normal on a Friday night, but also joined by Gene, the Christian Anarchist. Hey, Gene.
Good to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you in studio in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. We had a nice dinner out with you at one of the local burger shops here in town that actually accepts cryptocurrency. And just actually yesterday, I got a local Indian restaurant on board with taking cryptocurrency. And I say it was a group of us that sort of collectively managed to persuade them. But got them all set up. So now we got Indian food, we got pizza, we got burgers, tacos not far away from Keene. There's all kinds of food available for cryptocurrency.
Barbecue that should be reopening sometime soon.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that as well. And of course, we have more Bitcoin accepting and cryptocurrency accepting businesses per capita here in Keene and also our sister city out in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, than pretty much any major city anywhere in the world, from what I can tell. So
I like how you unilaterally made Portsmouth a sister city to Keene.
Why not? I mean, they basically are...
Well, generally, those things require a proclamation from the governor, a vote by the city council.
Well, I'm proclaiming it right here that, and I'm not a governor, I'm just, a guy on the radio, but our buddies Derek J. and Steven Zeiler out there in Portsmouth have been doing amazing work. They've basically taken... Keene used to be the clear number one Bitcoin per capita place. And within the last year, basically, the guys in Portsmouth, just those two guys have managed to bring on like a dozen businesses that are taking cryptocurrency. So they are just powerhouses. And Portsmouth is, I think, per capita, slightly more right now than Keene. It's like a neck and neck brutal competition between us, and it's a fun competition. So I'm glad to have them in it with us. Let's go to your calls and thoughts. We'll tell you more from The Intercept about Monkey Rocket, the secretive program that we're still not sure exactly what it is. Speculation is that the NSA is actually running a VPN out there, claiming to be running a VPN, but in fact using that to funnel people's data right into their coffers at the NSA. But let's go to Vernon first. He's in New Orleans. Vernon, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
So I have a question for you all, and I'm sure this will bring up the regular libertarian talking points, but I just can't remember what they were. So I know you all advocate for nonviolence and, not overthrowing the state through the use of violence, but doing it through,
not all of us on Free Talk Live have the same opinion. I'm against violence. I don't think that it's going to achieve peace, but there are some hosts like Melanie, our Monday night host, who don't seem to have a problem with using violence against the state. But anyway, all that said, given that there are individual opinions, please go ahead with your thoughts.
So it's interesting to me that libertarians are so pro-gun, and many are anti-violence, and I was just curious how the two combine.
You're curious how pro-gun, anti-violence people combine? Well, it's okay, in my opinion, to use defensive violence. So if somebody is attacking you or your family, some criminal is coming at you, then you certainly are within your rights to use violence against them. The difference between libertarians, at least on this show, tends to be their opinions about when defensive violence is appropriate, because some people like Melanie, and I don't want to put words in her mouth, but I've been on the air with her enough to understand this, and I used to hold similar opinions, so I do understand where she's coming from. Their argument is, well, the government's attacking us all the time, so therefore it's okay to use violence in defense. They would just consider any violence against the government as defensive violence. So they would argue that that isn't, in fact, an offensive violence, that's defensive, and so go for it. I argue against that because I just don't think violence is going to solve the problem of the state. It'll solve the private criminal, the individual who's, breaking into your home with a machete to try to hack up your family or whatever. That'll solve that problem. Violence in that case will solve it permanently. But in the case of the state, they'll just keep sending agents after you, and eventually it will come to a very bitter end. And then they'll use you as the excuse after the fact. They'll say, oh, this is why we need more police. This is why we need police having more guns. The police need to have more Bearcats and tanks and other, armored personnel carriers. We need bazookas. We need sniper rifles. And they use the violent people, like the guy that got the killdozer out and went and destroyed Town Hall and all of that. They use them as the excuse for more security, more police states. So anyway, go ahead with your thoughts.
Well, I'd say even if they don't, even if somebody doesn't come out and do that, they will produce somebody. They'll put a patsy out there. And so I don't know that it really makes much difference, because if everybody was peaceful, they would just they would invent some violent.
And maybe they have, and they could certainly do that in the future. But at the very least, then I'm not doing it. At least they can't blame me for it in that particular case. And even if they do bring somebody out who's a supposed libertarian who goes off on a crazy, violent streak, at the very least we can speak out against that and say, yeah, we don't know this guy.
Right.
He came to town. He started talking about violence. We told him to take a hike. And that's happened here before, by the way. So we've had people show up in this community, Gene, who have appeared here. Nobody knows who they are. Or sometimes somebody does know them. I remember one time Silver Dave brought a dude over to the Keene Activist Center, and he was just really creepy. His demeanor, he was kind of putting people on edge. And I had a conversation with him after he kind of set off Ademo Freeman from Cop Block. Ademo was on edge about this guy. So I went back there and asked him questions about what he believed, and he started talking about violence and being in a militia and why he thought it was okay to use violence against the state. And I said, you know what, you really don't belong here. You need to leave. And we got rid of him, and he never came back after that. But so I think people like that,
probably a Fed.
Yeah, I think people like that, they're either really angry libertarians and they really have that belief, or they're undercover agents or informants for the federal government trying to gin up violence, trying to find people who are like, oh yeah, we should blow that up, or we should kill that person, or whatever,
right?
And then arrest them.
And it reminds me of the story about the mosque in New York, where somebody showed up and started talking about violence, and so then the imam winds up calling the police. Hey, there's some guy talking violence, blah, blah, blah.
And it was a federal agent.
It turned out to be an undercover Fed that was trying to, find radicalized people. Yeah.
Anyway, Vernon, please go ahead with your thoughts on that.
So one other question. In general, it sounds like libertarianism is really about just making sure that there's absolutely nothing to suppress any sort of freedom whatsoever. So if there's any sort of a rule of law or anything at all that inhibits your ability to do anything that you would consider free, that really is the basis of libertarianism. So that's why the social aspects of it are more progressive, and then you have the conservative aspects of it with the guns and everything.
Libertarians believe that you should have the right to do whatever you want to do as long as you are not infringing on the rights of other people.
Well, and that includes creating rules on private property. So you mentioned there in what you were saying, Vernon, about anything that restricts freedom. No, actually, if you agree to a set of rules that restrict freedom, then that should be your freedom as well. So if you are a private property owner and you want to make sure that everybody takes their shoes off when they come into the front door or else they get kicked off the property, you can set that rule, even though that may infringe on freedom in that particular instance, because it's your private property and that person's agreeing to the rules by coming into or coming onto the premises.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate here and say if you've got a rule that says take off your shoes and somebody doesn't take their shoes off quick enough, you're not advocating that they be shot in the head because they violated my property.
No, of course not. That's ridiculous. And there has to be some level of proportionality to the responses to violations of private property. You would have the right to remove that person from your property if they didn't remove themselves upon request, but I don't think that you have the right to beat that person up in the process. You know what I mean? Unless they're trying to hurt you, in which case you can escalate in that case. Vernon, I hope that clarifies, and I thank you for the call tonight. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. Libertarianism is just the idea of the non-aggression principle. It doesn't have anything to do with no rules. There could very well be a lot of rules on somebody's private property. I mean, look at some of these ridiculous homeowners associations out there, and they're just insane levels of rules that they have. I don't want to live there. But if you want to, you got to agree to that stuff. More coming up here. It's Free Talk Live.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block, and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dinovite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies, grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it, and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dinovite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic.
And Cindy Lukasevic.
Inviting you and your pets to Dinovite.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You're invited here. Join us on the radio. Take control of the airwaves. Bring up what you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Ian and Darryl in the studio as normal. Gene, the Christian Anarchist, joining us as our special guest host here tonight as he's up here visiting the beautiful, wintry still New Hampshire. We're going to continue with your calls and thoughts. Also, Darryl, you're doing a run in the New York City Marathon coming up later. Is it this year?
Yeah, in November, and I'm actually looking at the New York City Marathon website right now. 225 days, 14 hours, and 29 minutes from now is when the race begins.
When do you have to raise the money by in order to qualify?
November 1st.
And you're looking to raise $3,500.
I need to raise $3,500, and right now I'm at $665, although I have secured some matching funds. $1,500 total matching.
Sweet.
So, I've already got a little of that covered, but basically the next $1,400 will be matched dollar for dollar.
Okay. Isn't the Shire Free Church involved in that? Okay.
Yes. So some of the funds come from there. All of the funds, prior to you mentioning Shire Free Church, I thought they were all going to be anonymous, but $1,000 of it is still anonymous.
Okay. Cool.
And yeah, so you can double the impact, and all of the funds go to the Innocence Project, and
which is
That's what I was about to explain. The Innocence Project was formed in 1992, and they help people that have been wrongly convicted. They just recently celebrated the 200th exoneration that they have worked on. And these are people that, either corrupt prosecution, faulty witnesses, DNA evidence that was never actually tested, people that were wrongly convicted. Some of them had actually been forced to take pleas to crimes that they did not commit. People spent time on death row for crimes they did not commit and were ultimately freed because of the work of the Innocence Project.
And all the $3,500 is going to them, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And, they can help free even more innocent people. They just need the funding to do so.
So you can help Darryl by going to run.freetalklive.com. That's run.freetalklive.com. As we go to your calls and thoughts here to the Discord on-air call-in line where Cosmos is on the line. Actually, it was somebody else before, but I guess he dropped out. Cosmos, you're on Free Talk Live. Oh, and he just dropped out. Okay. Well, anyway, if you want to call in, you can do that on our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. Let's go to the phones, to the fun. We've got Colby on the line. Colby calling from New York City. Colby, you're on the air.
Is that me?
Yes, you're on the radio. Go ahead.
Yes. No. I have no idea. I said friendly.
Huh? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. You're on the radio right now. Did you want to talk on the radio?
I know. I have no idea why you said Comey.
Okay, your name is Friendly? He wrote down Colby as your name. Okay, so your name is Friendly. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind tonight?
Thank you. Hi, Ian. Hi, Darryl. Blah, blah.
Yes, go ahead with your thoughts. You're on now.
Concerning compilers.
Yeah.
Okay. And I like Gene's calls. Eugene.
I don't know if that's his full name, but Gene the Christian Anarchist is here in the studio.
I think he was saying you. Gene, not
or Eugene.
Sort of like you, Ian.
I see.
Right.
What about compilers, Colby, or Friendly?
Okay.
Friendly compilers.
Please, it's a 2-page PDF. I want everybody to hear. Look up the document. It's a 2-page PDF. Ken Thompson wrote it. Ken with it TH in 1987. Trusting Trust. Put that in your search engine and look.
What are we going to learn? I mean, because not everybody out there has.
You're going to learn that the compilers can be compiled to trick even every source code, open source code that you put into it afterwards.
To trick open source put into the compiler, or are you saying that the programs, that is the compilers that compile other programs, can have modifications to them that could put backdoors in software? Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay. But still, wouldn't you be able to suss that out by virtue of using hashing between the code versus?
No.
Because the decompiler makes it look like there's not a backdoor.
So machine language.
If you read the paper, you can make the because you have to compile the compiler. And I'm sorry for my.
I've pulled up something that I think might be what you're referring to, and it makes no sense to me.
Are you saying that there's no real way to know if the open source that people provide is actually confirmably what is being compiled?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm glad we didn't have to read the 2-page technical document to figure that out. Thank you for the call tonight, Friendly. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Let's go to Corby calling from Houston. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Corby.
Hey, I just wanted to call and say I've ran 365 days in a row, and I just wanted to tell someone, so this is my easiest way to tell a lot of people.
All right, so hold on. I've got some questions because
Darryl's a runner
I'm
too.
a runner as well. What sort of distance are you running?
Well, it's 5 miles the last 330 days or more. The first 30, I could only run 3.4, and I had to walk. The first 16 days, I had to run 3.4 and walk about 4/10. And then after 2 weeks, I could do the whole 3.4. And then after 30 days, started running 5 miles because I still wasn't losing weight because I was eating too much and drinking too much beer.
Yeah.
So it's even running 5 miles a day. If you don't watch what you still have to be kind of conscious of what you eat.
You have to have
It all started with I bought a pair of pants that didn't fit, and I didn't want to go up in sizes or take it back, and I just started running every day.
Now,
And
so how much have you lost as far as weight over the last year?
20. I went up 5 pounds at first, but after that I went down about 25 total from that over 5. So I went down about 20 something total, but more than that I toned up a lot, and also it's amazing how much more just energy I have, and I still have some other lifestyle things. I'm probably not the healthiest, but it's still better to run and do the unhealthy things than not do the unhealthy things. And I mean, then and run. I smoke a lot of weed and things like that, but I was able to. It's amazing how much pain I've been in the last 30 days just trying to finish. But today I was running. I felt like I was hearing Rocky music in my mind because it was so easy the last day. I ran 9 miles today. I was taking a little break, but it was
nice. So, do you ever do any? Do you ever do any organized runs?
I ran a half marathon about 15 years ago. I was 34 then. I turned 50 later this year. I'm 49, so I wanted to run this before I turned 50. And I was going to run the half marathon in January. And the pricing, like when I ran the half marathon 15 years ago, it was $35 or $40. I don't mind giving that to. But the latest marathon in Houston, they want to pay all these Kenyans $100,000 to show up. And I don't mind the money going to charity. I'll pay, whatever, $50 or $100 to go to charity, but it was like $150 to go run, and it's like they were paying $230,000.
If you want a good free half marathon, look at the Millinocket Marathon in northern Maine in December.
Yeah, except he lives in Houston, so it wouldn't be free to get there. It wouldn't be free to arrive in Maine from Houston. Hey, thanks, Corby, and congrats on your personal success. There's more coming up here on Free Talk Live.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA-packed technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon. Or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original, most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Are you tired of governments around the world killing innocent people? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money that cannot be inflated or controlled by any state. By continuing to use their money, you're perpetuating the killing. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available to you now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. It's Bitcoin.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. twitch.lrn.fm's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything you want here. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And also want to make sure that you know about $6shirts.com. They've got a huge selection of witty and clever T-shirts that I think you're going to find pretty fantastic. If you look through their shirts, it's guaranteed almost that you're going to find something that you want, probably more than one thing, and the price is definitely right. $6 shirts. They do have some shirts that are more than $6, but the bulk of them are $6 shirts, and there are even further discounts, like if you use code FTL, you can get 10% off of your order at $6 shirts. And the really nice thing about it is that these are liberty-minded people who are running $6 shirts. They're listeners of Free Talk Live.
And I'm actually wearing one of these $6 shirts.
You are. Now, that's a television show reference, correct?
This is a Game of Thrones reference, yes.
Free folk wild things?
Wildlings.
Wildlings.
They're in the Game of Thrones universe. There are these people that they refer to themselves as the free folk.
I see.
Other people refer to them as wildlings because they don't have a king.
Cool. So you've got
and one of their things is we do not kneel, and they live north of the wall. So, yeah, I got this from $6 shirts. I paid for this one. This was not one of the ones that I got.
Yeah, because they gave us a few freebies for doing the ads for them. Anyway, go to $6shirts.com, and I got the one of them with Snake Plissken on it from Escape from New York and Escape from L.A., and also I got another one with the Fifth Element reference. So I got a couple movie-related shirts from them. But they've also got video game-related. They've got pop culture. They've got politics.
Exercise. Yeah. So, yeah, the one of the ones that I got recently was T-Rex hates push-ups.
That's a cute one.
And he's trying to do a push-up, but because T-Rex has a giant head and
it's his
little
head that's
tiny arms, he can't reach the ground to do the push-up.
$6shirts.com. Go see them for yourself. And don't forget code FTL to save that 10%. As we continue, we'll take your calls about what you want. We go to Discord, where the Discord on-air call-in line exists, and that's where Cosmos is on the line from Chicago. Hello, Cosmos.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, you're on the air. Go ahead.
I just wanted to talk about gun control, hear your guys' opinions on it with the recent shootings that have been happening. Do you think, for example, AR-15s should be banned?
No, I don't want to speak for anybody else in the studio here, but I suspect you guys would agree that as liberty-minded people, we believe in freedom, which includes the freedom to own pretty much whatever it is that you want to own. Obviously, people shouldn't be hurting innocent people.
I just want to call the niggers.
Oh, you can't say that on the radio, sir, so we're just going to have to drop you there. Drop you from there too. So that doesn't work. We have software and hardware that prevents that from going out. Congratulations, all 12 viewers on Twitch just heard you say that. But everybody else pretty much is not going to hear that.
Now, I will say that there was a piece of legislation that unfortunately wound up dying in the New Hampshire legislature earlier this year that was similar to something that wound up dying a couple of years ago that hopefully one day will wind up passing, that would prohibit governments from purchasing things that cannot be purchased on the open market.
Okay, meaning that if they can't get a Bearcat...
It's specifically referred to as, by supporters as the anti-Bearcat bill.
Right. So if they can't buy, if you and I can't buy the thing, then the government also cannot buy the thing.
Correct. Lenco will not sell a ballistic engineered armored response counterattack truck to anyone that is not a municipal government.
If this passes.
No, right now,
I see what you're
Lenco
saying.
will not sell a Bearcat to anyone that is not a municipal government, meaning that Bearcats are not available on the open market.
The average
Which means if this passes, no municipality and also the state government in New Hampshire would not be allowed to purchase or acquire.
Now, what was the status of this bill?
Dead.
Oh, okay. So it's not going to pass.
Right. But, next year, hopefully somebody winds up introducing it again, and then in 2 years
I
after
thought
that...
they can only do it every 2 years.
They can only do it once per biennium.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second year of the biennium.
Oh, I see. So they could do it next year, but then not the year after that.
Correct.
Gotcha. All right. So, I mean, the fact is we need more people who care about freedom to move to New Hampshire. We've had a couple thousand of them already, but we've got to have thousands more before we're really going to be able to have a significant impact. We already have had an impact, and certainly we've got libertarians that have been elected here as Republicans and Democrats. We've had some of those Republicans and Democrats actually change their party registration while they were elected to Libertarians. So as a result of that, we actually have 3 Libertarian Party members who are in the state house.
Yes.
1 a former Democrat, 2 former Republicans. So we've had some real, I think, progress here, even given the relatively small size of the migration, only being about 2,000 movers here thus far.
Right. And if people didn't buy into this wasted vote syndrome and you've got to be part of the two-party system, the Libertarian Party could be much larger and much more effective in New Hampshire than it is.
It certainly could. And as we get more people here, that will hopefully happen. So if you want to learn more about the Libertarians in New Hampshire, you can go to lpnh.org. That's the Libertarian Party.
Yep.
And then, of course, freekeen.com has some blogs about some of the things that are happening here, but only a fraction of all the various different projects and things that are occurring. It's impossible to get a finger on everything, the pulse of the Liberty Movement, because it is that large and that effective here. All right, so we're going to... Oh, sorry, Gene, I had you muted accidentally. Go ahead with that.
Yeah, I have something to add on gun control, is that I've watched technology advance over my long years on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I play with is 3D printing. I've had a 3D printer for several years. I'm on my second machine, actually.
Neat.
But with the new processes, we're able to 3D print a plastic material that has metal particles in it.
Really?
That you can later on sinter and create metal parts. And there's only one company currently that's doing this. But as this process develops, you'll be able to take a simple 3D plastic printing machine. You'll be able to print yourself metal parts for your guns. You'll have to sinter them after they're printed. So when you print them, they'll be green, what's called a green state.
Okay.
You'll have to then take that part, put it into a sintering furnace, which will heat it up to a given temperature depending on what type of metal that you have in there. And it'll burn off the binding material and sinter the metal and create your metal parts for your guns. So we're reaching a stage in technology where people will, for a very small fee, be able to buy the equipment to build their own guns at home.
Completely off the grid, completely unknown by the government.
And a house that is probably also 3D printed. I don't know if you saw that article where, somebody just recently used some giant construction thing to 3D print a house in less than a day for about $10,000.
Yep. So there you go. If you want to join us here, toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Just to come back around to the discussion we were having earlier, there's a detailed article in The Intercept about the Edward Snowden, the most recent revelations, documents coming out that were released back in 2013 but are just now coming to light about something called Monkey Rocket, which is what some experts are saying may be a virtual private network operated by the NSA, helping them tap into the very people who think they're buying privacy by purchasing VPN service, but in point of fact are routing their internet traffic directly through the NSA's servers. We're telling you more about this from theintercept.com. Emin Gunsirer, associate professor at the Initiative for Cryptocurrencies and Contracts at Cornell, told The Intercept that financial privacy is something that matters incredibly to the Bitcoin community and expects that people who are privacy conscious will switch to privacy-oriented coins like Zencash or Monero after learning of the NSA's work here. Again, the NSA using these tools to track Bitcoin users, to track people who are interested in cryptocurrency. Now, in 2013, it would have pretty much just been Bitcoin. Maybe Litecoin was coming out at that time.
Litecoin had been out by then.
And so you better believe they're also interested in the other cryptocurrencies probably by now. Because again, this is 5-year-old news that we're talking about that's just now hitting. And we'll tell you more about it coming up here in moments. This is Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com.
The answer to being in control of your own healthcare is freedom from insurance. Become part of a group of self-pay patients that come together to share in each other's medical expenses. Individual share amounts begin at $107 a month and $347 for families. Choose from 3 health-sharing programs. Holistic treatments may be eligible for sharing. See guidelines. Discount programs available for dental, vision, and pharmacy. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
Frustrated trying to get business capital? Want to take the slow process and rejection out of the equation? GCNloans.com removes the slow, irritating approval process. Instead, get quick, simple funding. Powered by David Allen Capital, 80% of our pre-qualified clients are approved in days. Pre-qualify at GCNloans.com and get your money this week. It's that easy. GCNloans.com. That's GCNloans.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial toll-free if you want to join us on the radio here. You can do that. 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. And joining you here tonight, Ian and Darryl as normal. Gene, the Christian Anarchist, is in our third seat as our guest co-host here this evening, as he is visiting with his wife and I think mother, or wife's mother.
Mother-in-law.
Here to beautiful New Hampshire, right during what is supposedly springtime, but still feels like winter.
It's nice and sunny.
For the most part. It did warm up to the 40s.
It's not yet mud season.
Yeah, it warmed up to the 40s today here. So anyway, you can call in about whatever you want. Also, I do want to let you know about our Twitch channel, which is where you can go to actually watch the show if that's something you would like to do. We've got HD quality video on our Twitch channel at twitch.lrn.fm. And that is where you can see us here in the studio. There's also a chat room that is exclusively for the people who are watching on Twitch. It doesn't tend to be as active there as our chat on Discord. So if you're a Twitch viewer and you'd like to chat with more people, head over to discord.lrn.fm and you'll find a very active chat room there every single night. But the Twitch is nice because it allows you to follow Free Talk Live, to follow the LRN.FM channel there, which means that whenever LRN.FM goes live, so during Call to Freedom, during Free Talk Live, during Questioning Authority on Saturday nights, whenever we go live, you'll get a notice if you've got the app installed and notifications turned on for our channel, or you can also turn on email notifications from Twitch. So Twitch will ding you every time that the channel's live, which helps you remember that we're there. So that's nice to have. I think we've got over 200 followers now on Twitch, so thank you to everybody who's done that. And especially thank you to everyone who's taken the time to send us your Twitch Prime subscription. If you're an Amazon Prime user, guess what? One of the perks that they give you, which you may or may not have been aware of, is that you get a free Twitch subscription every month if you're an Amazon Prime user. Now, the catch is you have to allocate that subscription every single month. So you don't get to just say, I want Free Talk Live or LRN to have the subscription and then it's there forever. It's 1 month, next month. You've got to keep going back and resubscribing, resending us that subscription. So I guess the idea is there, if you are an active watcher of the channel, you'll remember to do that,
right,
as opposed to just going over and doing it once and then forgetting about it. So if you have Amazon Prime and you want to help us with that, all you have to do is use your Twitch subscription on us. Just go to twitch.lrn.fm. You can pull down the subscribe tab there after you've connected your Twitch to your Amazon, which is a pretty easy process to do. And I think you can do that in the settings somewhere. I've gone through it before. I just don't remember offhand the process. But people have figured it out, and if you need help, just ask in the chat, and I'm sure they can walk you through it. Once again, go to twitch.lrn.fm. Please follow us and subscribe there, and we sure do appreciate it. All right, 855-450-FREE is our toll-free number. Also, we've got a Discord, discord.lrn.fm, and that's where Big Loaf is on our Discord on-air call-in line right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, gentlemen, good evening. Happy Friday. Gene, especially nice to talk to you. You're like a personal hero of mine.
Well, thank you.
Anyways, I wanted to get back to that news story because there's a lot of important content in here. And if you don't mind, gentlemen, I'd like to read straight from the article. And this is coming from the Intercept.com article regarding the NSA tracking of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Green, who co-founded and currently advises a privacy-focused Bitcoin competitor named Zcash, echoed those sentiments, saying that NSA's techniques make privacy features in any digital currency like Ethereum or Ripple, quote, totally worthless, end quote, for those targeted.
That's a strange thing to say, given that Ethereum and Ripple aren't privacy features, although that's not a quote from Green. That's the interpretation of the Intercept's author. Ethereum's not a privacy coin, and Ripple is definitely not a privacy
And neither of those things try to claim to be privacy coins. As a matter of fact, the guy that created Ethereum said he wants to be able to tie your identity to the blockchain, which is the complete opposite of privacy.
So that may be true, gentlemen, but it seems to me like in the context of the conversation, the idea that's trying to be conveyed is, and this technically makes sense, that given the techniques used by the NSA, realistically, any digital transaction you make across physical connections, their monitoring can be tracked. Ergo, none of it is actually anonymous.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I buy that claim. I mean, it's you certainly are somebody who you've called before. You're against cryptocurrencies. You love gold and silver, and I don't think there's anything wrong with gold and silver. I still certainly, the church here has.
I mean, I'm not against crypto, but I mean, it just doesn't solve the problem that it's purported to solve, right? And from a technical perspective, you could see this coming from
absolutely,
like a
it solves
mile away.
the problems. It solves all kinds of problems. It's decentralized currencies, so that solves the problem of centralization. No, it's not debatable. There's no debate about it.
Hold on. If the NSA has all the physical backdoors in all of these components, right? In effect, it's centralized on them because they have backdoors in it all. And if you read the article and what they're talking about,
in it all. Okay, so they don't have backdoors likely in Monero or Zencash or whatever, where they're not in charge of that particular crypto. I don't know if I understand what this person is saying here, because they didn't actually quote the person that they misinterpreted, obviously, by claiming that Ethereum. Again, I'm not saying this Green guy claimed to the Intercept that Ethereum or Ripple are privacy coins. That may be what the Intercept person mistakenly wrote in here, but it's clear that he did not understand what was being told to him. So I'm not going to take some journalist's opinion about what a privacy expert said, who is not actually telling us what the expert said, instead just giving us their opinion about it as the God's honest fact in this case.
Now, I will say that just a couple of weeks ago, I purchased an airline ticket using Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time somebody purchased an airline ticket using gold or silver?
You got a point there.
Well, I'm sorry. I think you might have dropped out.
Yeah, you kind of had an iffy connection at the beginning of the call. Darryl pointed out he bought an airline ticket with Bitcoin and asked when the last time somebody bought an airline ticket with gold or silver was.
Well, I don't know. I mean, ask the Swiss. I think they've been doing it lately, right? But I mean, what's your point? See, here's the thing.
You said that Bitcoin doesn't solve any problems, and I'm telling you that it does.
No. Well, I mean, by that measure, I mean, fiat currency of all types solves problems because I can buy it with dollar bills, but they're worthless, right? It's sort of kind of like Bitcoin.
Well, they're not worthless. People accept them for services.
So I mean, I'm not against crypto, and I'm not just pushing gold and silver. I mean, you
are clearly against crypto. You attack it constantly, and you push gold and silver as an alternative.
I mean, well, it is an alternative, but it's not the only alternative.
It's not a very useful alternative. It's a nice alternative for people that want to hold on to something that can accumulate value over time. It's a nice alternative for somebody that wants to store some value that will likely keep up with inflation, that won't put them behind the ball. Gold and silver is great for that. But if you want to actually send it to somebody, good luck. You got to go and use, usually the government, to send a physical piece of mail, a package, which of course could get lost, broken, stolen, whatever, and not actually make it to its destination. Then you're paying postage on top of that and all the time it takes to wrap and pack and ship and do all of that just to send somebody something. Whereas with cryptocurrency, if I want to send something to Gene or Darryl or somebody halfway across the world in Pakistan, I can do that in an instant, and it's always delivered. It's never a problem.
Credit cards have been able to do that as well, and they're backed by nothing, just like Bitcoin. but that's not the point I'm trying to make, right?
Well,
Just
but the
I'm
idea
saying that the anonymizing aspects that are often touted don't actually exist in reality.
Well, that's your belief, but you don't really know
Well, I mean,
that.
that's the belief. I mean, you
That's
cannot
your
believe
belief.
Snowden. I don't know.
Snowden
I've
didn't
never
say
met
that,
Snowden.
sir. Snowden didn't say that.
Well, it looks
You're
like,
referring
it
to an
looks like-
article written by somebody who clearly doesn't know what they're talking about here.
Now Snowden doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
Okay,
you read the
fine.
statement, dude. You read the statement, Big Loaf. You go ahead, read the article. It's written by somebody who's not Edward Snowden, and the statement that you made was about a guy named Green, who is not Edward Snowden. You're talking about one of the people that commented for this article, Matthew Green. He's an assistant professor at Johns Hopkins University Information Security Institute. So we're not talking about what Snowden said.
He created Zcash, dude. You left out the most important part. He created Zcash. It says it right there in the article.
I didn't leave that part out. You read that on the air. What I'm
Green.
telling you, that's right. Green is one of the advisors for Zcash, okay? That is a supposedly anonymized cryptocurrency. But just because this guy said something to this author that is being clearly misinterpreted does not allow somebody to extrapolate that means that every privacy coin is completely violated. Thank you for the call tonight, but you're just wrong about that. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. If you want to talk about what Snowden said use PGP. Snowden said use Signal. Snowden has made specific recommendations on things that he thinks are good ways to improve your privacy. There's more coming up here in moments. Your calls and thoughts, welcome here on Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE, like freedom.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, March 23rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.61 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,347 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $18, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,465.
Antiwar.com reports President Trump made clear earlier this week during his meeting with the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman that U.S. arms sales to the Saudis are a top priority. Already, the State Department has announced another $1 billion in arms sales to the Saudis. The sales are going to include 6,600 TOW-2B missiles at a cost of about $670 million, with the rest of the contract coming in the form of various parts for U.S.-made vehicles previously sold to the Saudi military. The State Department justified the sale as an attempt to help the Saudis build up their military to maintain stability. Such sales need to be endorsed by both state and defense officials as having some U.S. national security component, though this is trivial since the administration's goals are so tied to increased arms sales. Saudi Arabia is the largest buyer of U.S. arms, but sales have been increasingly resisted in Congress because of the massive numbers of civilians killed in airstrikes against Yemen. Historically, the Saudis have been able to get sales approved, but the votes have in recent years gotten closer and closer.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports rent prices in the United States are rising at their fastest level in 21 months, according to a survey by Zillow. The survey found that the median rent rose 2.8% over the past year to $1,445 per month. The fastest rate increases occurred along the West Coast in Sacramento, California, Riverside, California, and Seattle, Washington. Sacramento saw the fastest rent rise with 8% since last February for an average of $1,849 per month. Home purchases have also suffered due to high mortgage rates, leading more people to opt to renting instead of buying. Zillow senior economist Aaron Terrazas said rental appreciation slowed between 2015 and mid-2017, but is once again picking up steam, re-accelerating over the past 9 months. For-sale inventory is tight, and with home prices continuing their rapid climb, it's becoming more and more difficult for renters to become owners, forcing them to rent longer than they otherwise would have. Searching for the right home has become a drawn-out affair, and rising prices require more saving for a down payment. Were it not for strong new apartment construction over the past half-decade, rental appreciation would be even stronger than it is now. According to CNBC, apartment occupancy around the country was at 95% at the end of 2017 and is expected to increase.
You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com.
Reuters reports the mayor of Sacramento, California, said on Thursday he was horrified by video showing police officers firing 20 gunshots at an unarmed man who was slain in his backyard. Police in Sacramento, the state capital, said the video from body cameras worn by officials involved in Sunday night's confrontation showed the victim, Stephen Clark, holding an object that was later discovered to be his cell phone. The video was released by police late on Wednesday, and by Thursday it had gone viral on the internet. More than 200 demonstrators gathered on Thursday to denounce the shooting at a protest organized by the Black Lives Matter movement. The protest was orderly, and police allowed a group of demonstrators to march up an entrance ramp to interstate highways at the height of rush hour and block traffic. Organizers described shooting deaths of minorities by police as disturbingly commonplace. Mayor Darryl Steinberg said at a news conference, "Like any compassionate person, I was horrified by the death of a young Sacramento man who we later found out had 2 children. What was my reaction? It was horrible." Protesters marched into the City Hall lobby shouting, "It's a phone, not a gun," and demanded a meeting with the police chief. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
I know I shouldn't, but these muffins are delicious.
And we'll share our favorite recipes later in the hour, but first our guest says don't give in to road rage. Stay calm behind the wheel and coolly plot your road revenge. Danny Preston is a defensive driving instructor who teaches people how to control their temper behind the wheel. Welcome, Danny.
Thanks for having me.
Danny, there's nothing I hate more than getting cut off.
That drives me nuts. I want to scream out my window.
Getting into an argument with a stranger isn't going to accomplish anything but stress you out.
Well, how should you respond instead?
In 1996, some guy gave me the middle finger after I cut him off. I recognized him from TV. That's when I decided to become a defensive driving instructor, developing the skills I needed to eventually be invited on his show as an expert. Now, once you're there, it's just a simple matter of switching out his muffins with the ones you made yourself. How many did you eat?
What? I don't know.
Thank you so much for sharing your tips, Danny.
Danny is not my true name.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything that you want. Our toll-free number here is 855-450. Free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you here in the studio tonight, you've got Ian.
And Darryl.
And hey, Gene, the Christian
And
Anarchist.
Gene, I'm here.
Welcome to the program here. We're rolling into hour number 3. Gene, the Christian Anarchist, in the studio with us for the first time ever, after having listened to the show for how long, Gene?
Over 10 years.
So you must have started mid-aughts, somewhere in the mid-aughts.
Yep.
And you've been calling on occasion.
And amping.
Longtime listeners, yes, and a Free Talk Live amplifier. Longtime listeners will remember you from way, way back. And so it's great to have you here with us. As we continue, we're going to another longtime caller of the show. Dave Ridley is on the line here from RidleyReport.com. Hello, Dave. You're on Free Talk Live.
Gene.
Hey, Dave.
你用人文吗?
Yeah. Now you got me.
Oh, didn't you live in China?
No, my wife is from China. My Chinese is very, very poor.
Oh, okay. All right.
Dave Ridley, I didn't know you spoke Chinese.
And that kind of sounded more like Hong Kong.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really speak it. I just know enough to say a couple things.
Gotcha. So what's on your mind tonight, Dave?
Calling about something else. Oh, what'd you say?
What's on your mind? Go ahead with that thing that you were calling about.
I wanted to update you on some of the a new piece of activism that I'm doing.
Sure.
Kind of inspired by you. I noticed how you were able to get large numbers of interviews with talk radio around the country, especially during the Robin Hood thing.
Oh, the Robin Hood thing. So you're talking about when there was this big news explosion about Robin Hood of Keene, which was a group of activists who filled parking meters with coins, expired meters, and saved thousands of people from receiving tickets. The city of Keene sued us over that, and that resulted in a huge media explosion. In that case, that was just all coming at me. I wasn't actually out there trying to get any kind of media. But please, go ahead and tell us what you're up to.
Well, there was another thing that inspired it, and that was, a while back I got a call from, I guess, some talk show in southern, like in South Carolina or something like that, and they had me on for just to be a guest because I guess, they ran out of guests or something. And I think I would like to try kind of putting myself out there, just sending emails to a wide range of different talk shows and just let them know what's been going on here or what I do, and see how many of them are low on guests, low enough to use me, basically.
And you're talking about nationwide shows or just New Hampshire?
I'll probably try both and see which works better.
Okay.
The small nationwide shows are probably the best ones for something like this, just because they're not going to be as focused on their local politics. But like I said, the invite that I got was from a South Carolina station, I think, if I recall.
Okay.
And that's not the only time that's happened. There's occasions where that goes on. So that will give me a chance to get the word out to people around the country. Again, we're still here in New Hampshire. Please move here, if you want more freedom. And that's our mission.
Absolutely. So your point is to call these radio shows elsewhere in the country and promote libertarians migrating to New Hampshire?
Sort of. Of course, I'm an expert on a few other things, so they can use me for other things if they want to. But this will come up by itself, the free state thing.
So how are you doing it? Are you reaching out directly to each producer on these shows and just kind of pitching yourself?
I've got sort of something that would be a modified form letter, a customized form letter, and I'll just start Googling the different shows. I'd already Googled a bunch of them anyway, to try and figure out what New England talk radio shows I can call into.
Yep.
And I've already maxed out on that. I've got, a lot of talk shows that I call in New England, but I don't do much with the national shows or the ones that are outside New Hampshire. And I would like to just, invite people, if they're listening, you can make use of me. You just go to ridleyreport.com and contact me.
If there's a producer out there listening to the show, you mean?
Yeah, if you run a talk show or have a talk show or something like that, I'm a good match in the sense that I've got time to be on a talk show and I enjoy doing it. So
Ridley is hanging out his shingle, folks. So if you need a good interview, feel free to reach out to him. There you go. Anything else you want to share with our audience tonight, Dave?
That is all.
Thanks for the call tonight. And by the way, just so you know, I don't know if you caught the interview we had on Wednesday with Theo Chino, the latest from the Morpheus trial. We didn't hear from them last night. I thought one of the viewers was going to call in of the
You had
Thomas
asked
Costanzo.
on Wednesday for somebody to call back, but there might not have been anything, or
there was
maybe
something.
they got
it's just
busy.
That, they weren't able to call. I did reach out to him today, and he is expecting to call Monday. So we will hopefully get an update on the Morpheus trial, the man facing prison for ostensible money laundering of selling Bitcoin to somebody who claimed to be a heroin dealer online. It's probably not going to go too well for him once the jury starts deliberating, but we will let you know as we know more.
I was listening the other day when you were talking about that, and I brought up the fact that the guy that made the Gullwing car,
John DeLorean,
he got off on the fact that they enticed him or they entrapped him into that cocaine deal. And it sounded to me like it was a very similar situation, and if his lawyers were good and used a similar defense, I think that there's a good...
We'll see. I'm not sure how long the trial was expected to last. I think I'd heard it was only supposed to go through today, so it may actually be over, or jury may be deliberating as we speak. I have not gotten any updates from anybody in the last 48 hours, so I don't know anything else. Dave, you sounded like you were trying to get something in there. Go ahead.
If you go to Facebook and then just
I can't. I don't go to Facebook.
Whoever does can go to type free Morpheus Titania on Facebook. That will take you to a bunch of Theo's recent posts about what's been going on.
Have you heard anything then? Have you been following that?
I just posted there yesterday, like, hey, what's the latest? Because Theo's latest post was a few days old, so I was wanting additional details. And I just now listened to your broadcast from 3 days ago where Ernie called in, roughly 3 days.
You want to listen to the one the next day where we actually did an hour-long interview with Theo. So that would have been Wednesday night. You should, if you want to hear the details about what happened, that's probably the most detailed interview you're going to find
this
about it.
Free Morpheus thing that you mentioned, it's a group, and I'm not joining any more groups.
Yeah, best way to get the word out off Facebook is probably through the Shire forums at forum.shiresociety.com. Dave, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. That way nobody has to jump through arbitrary corporate hoops in order to get access to information. The Shire forums, you don't have to join. You can just go and read most of the forums. They're public, so you can just go there at forum.shiresociety.com. That's also where the Free Talk Live forum is. So if you want to talk with other Free Talk Live listeners in a forum setting, because we obviously have Discord, which is more of a live chat, and of course that's going on right now. But if you want the more of the organization that you get from forum topics and such, then you can have that over at forum.freetalklive.com, and it is completely free as well. So yeah, as we know more about the Morpheus case, we will certainly bring it to you because I think it's an interesting one. So back to the story here about privacy, or the lack thereof, regarding cryptocurrency and the NSA coming in and trying to snoop out as much information about cryptocurrency users, specifically Bitcoin, back in 2013 as possible. There's more here from The Intercept. We had a big loaf call to read a segment of this article on the air and tout it as though it means that all cryptocurrencies that are privacy coins are now a failure because of this NSA program where they're trying to to, again, garner information about Bitcoin users. That was actually going to be like the next paragraph we were going to read, so I'm just going to pick up from after that. The NSA's interest in cryptocurrency is, quote, bad news for privacy because it means that in addition to the really hard problem of making the actual transactions private, you also have to make sure all the network connections are secure. This according to one of the experts that apparently was an advisor to Zcash, which is one of the privacy-focused coins out there. So saying that you've got to make sure that you've got a connection on the internet that's also private so people can't try to monitor the different protocols that you're utilizing. Although I don't know if that would give them any more information than knowing this person sent a Monero transaction. Not that they would even know where or when. And that would be a question for one of the programmers of Monero or programmer for Zencash, which we don't have on the air right now. But if you know more and you want to comment, you're welcome to join us. This is Free Talk Live.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Core and your Bitcoin Cash. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
From the third letter of Captain Mark. The Crown's observation conditions us to be dishonest with ourselves. Therefore, constant surveillance produces a society of constant deception. Honest communication is the seed of civilized conduct. To deny us this seed is to deny us its fruits. But the Crown's primary objective is to stifle free thought itself, to make its subjects incapable of dissent. Seasoned pirates have always encrypted messages and codes and ciphers, so intercepted transmissions were incomprehensible. But today, the Crown possesses advanced tools of pattern recognition that document, profile, and predict our every move. Today, piracy requires hailing frequencies completely invisible to the Crown. We are tired of poltergeists in the static. Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels, or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Hollywood's biggest stars are rallying for a good cause this week with the Save Our Children campaign. Celebs like Jessica Simpson, Brad Pitt, and Gwyneth Paltrow headlined a charity event to help their suffering kids who desperately need a chance to live a normal life. Angelina Jolie talked to Starfix about the charity, saying, quote, "You don't have to be a mother to want to help my children, many of whom are not getting a proper education. If you look at the numbers, 1 in 5 of my children will struggle with drug problems." Joining us now is a representative from the charity, Julie Harrison. Julie, it was such a great cause.
Absolutely. We're talking about children who don't have any positive role models. They're born into a life they didn't ask for, and if the state's not going to step up and help these kids, it's time someone did something.
Here's a quote from Victoria Beckham, and I found this powerful. "It breaks my heart to think about these kids living somewhere in my house with no hope for a happy future. Who knows if they even have food to eat?" Julie, according to your group's website, a staggering number of STARS children are being exploited growing up without parents.
Right.
This is the Onion News Network.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It is Free Talk Live. You dial toll free if you want to join us here. The number is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, and the Skype username is LRN.FM. Liberty.menu. Great place to go if you want to find liberty-friendly businesses. Or maybe you want to find some events that might be happening that would like to have more libertarians attending. Liberty.menu's got that. They've also got digital content listings. They can all be plotted on a map so you can see where local businesses might be that are run by libertarians. It's still a newish site. It's less than a year old, basically, at this point in its current incarnation. And Free Talk Live teamed up with them a couple months ago because we know people have been asking for this tool. Over the years, we've had people ask us, hey, guys, what's the best Liberty business guide, or book or information that we can get? And there had been some lackluster attempts in the past to do this in various different ways, and they just never really took off. Liberty.menu, I think, is the best one out there. It's the best one that I've seen. That's why I recommended them to Mark when we were talking about, well, what do we do here? Do we create our own? Do we back one of the ones that already exists? And this one's created by Patrick, who is a mover here to New Hampshire. He's a migrant for the Liberty migration that's been going on, and he really put together a great site. It's easy to use. It's free to use. So if you want to put your business up there, do it. In fact, you ought to put your business up there so more libertarians can find you and come and do business with you, because that's what we all, I think, want to see happen, is the liberty community supporting each other, and this is a way to do that. And as I said, again, there's other things like event listings, digital content listings, so you can put your stuff up there over at liberty.menu. You can also rate and review existing businesses. There's a bit of a social networking aspect as well, and you can get the FTL badge by using code FTL when you get your account set up over at liberty.menu. And like I said, it's free to list stuff there, so don't hesitate. Just get on over there right now, liberty.menu. As we continue, we'll take your calls and your thoughts. We go to the phones, to the fun. Ralph is on the line. He's calling us from Bulltown, Maine. Ralph, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
I called last night, and I started to talk about big oil. And before I could make my point, the young lady that was with you last night, she made a point, and she made my point for me.
Okay.
See, I was, and if I could, there's like about a dozen things I just wanted to list off real quick of what actually comes from oil. Because, see, I got to, let's see, plastics, and then all of a sudden it was, she said, well, there's all kinds of resources that are valuable. Medicine is probably the biggest one. And that's my point. Pharmaceuticals come from oil.
Okay.
See, well, oil is a big fake thing of life, see, that they've synthesized and faked everything. And from plastics, fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides, that grows our food, synthetic fibers, polyester, nylon, rayon, spandex, paints, pharmaceuticals, which I already said. That's even aspirin comes from oil.
Are you just reading off a list of facts about oil?
What oil turns
Sounds like he
into?
really likes oil.
Right. I'm just trying to figure out if there's a point to the call, or you're just trying to read a list of things that come from oil.
No, there is. I'm just I'm halfway through it.
Okay.
Really quick, and then I'll make the point.
All right.
Detergents, cleaners, synthetic rubber, right? We don't even use real rubber anymore. That's all in all our vehicles. Jet fuel, gasoline, diesel, heating fuel, lubricants, solvents, resins, adhesives, cosmetics, asphalt, all our roads. And last but not least, they're putting it in our food preservatives, food colorings, flavorings, chewing. It's just unbelievable.
Now, what you're saying here is you're going off on a list of things that aren't directly oil-based, but they may be based on some of the the resulting products from the creation or the refining of oil. There's product that comes from that too, and you're listing some of those. So what's your point? Your point is oil's useful, right?
Exactly. everything is coming from oil.
Well, not everything is coming from oil, but it is a useful thing that originally was considered to be a pollutant, right? Like back in the day, if a farmer had oil come up on his land, it was an annoyance. It was a pollutant. It was something that was not valuable.
Oil salesman, Rockefeller, that's how he started. Put it in a bottle with some other stuff and told people it cured cancer.
Really?
But the point is, here we are wanting, I thought we're all kind of like, we'd like the world to be free from oil. Look what it's causing,
Who said that?
Pollution, everything, and wars and stuff. But boy, when you transfer from oil to something else, you see, you've got like all these industries that are part of the big oil conglomerate.
So wait, are you against oil or are you for oil? I'm not real sure what your position is.
Well, we're on oil now. We should probably, convert to something more like, something else. But eventually,
is there a favorite alternative that you have?
Well, I mean, we could tap into to solar, to wind, to not the way it is now. See, it's all gaming the system. See, everything is gaming the system. We need to be free. How about fusion? How about cold fusion? Not hot
cold fusion or cold fusion?
Cold, as in below freezing.
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of things out there. Ralph, I've never, on this show at least, I don't think anybody's attacked oil specifically. There certainly are people out there who hate oil for whatever reason.
Pollution?
Well, I mean, pollution certainly is a bad thing. There's no doubt about that. But
I would say Mark has probably come the closest to attacking oil by saying that he drives a hybrid because he doesn't want to wind up funding the war machine that goes overseas to protect the oil companies.
The thing is, the thing that I think that people need to be careful about is bringing the government involved in this. And thank you for the call tonight, Ralph. I appreciate hearing from you.
Right, and that's the big problem that we have right now with solar and wind and hydroelectric is government involvement.
Right, they're taking money and then they're funneling it over into these solar and wind and all this other stuff and the development, which on its face seems like, oh, that's a good thing. But the problem is you aren't doing what the market would necessarily do. The market is going to find alternative energy sources because people want that. They want these options.
You know what I would love? I would love to be able to actually buy some solar panels and then own the solar panels. But right now, that's almost difficult to do because all of these companies will lease you the solar panels because there are laws on the books in most states that if you generate any electricity on your property, you must sell the excess onto the grid, and the grid must buy that from you. So it is almost impossible to actually buy a damn solar panel.
Right. The problem is the government is trying to pick a winner, and the market may not decide that the winner is what the government wants it to be.
If you get the market out of it,
the
problem will solve itself because oil.
If you get the government out of it.
If you get the government out of it, the problem will solve itself because oil the price will rise as the product runs out, and then the market will provide something else. But for the government to get in there now is what's screwing things up.
Absolutely true. The toll-free number here is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up what you want here on Free Talk Live.
Tired of being censored by Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Patreon? Well, now you don't have to be. OneWay.com is the free speech and human-friendly social network built just for you. Stop feeding the beast. Every post you make on those evil, anti-human, anti-American perverted sites helps them destroy our families, our country, and our souls. Join One Way today and take back your liberty. Your free speech alternative is waiting for you at OneWay.com. OneWay.com.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Bring up what you want, if you want. You may take control of the airwaves here. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. 855-450-3733. Ian and Darryl in the studio tonight with special guest host Gene, the Christian Anarchist. He's up visiting New Hampshire on a trip with his family. Appreciate you stopping by here tonight.
Hello, everyone.
And don't forget, you also need to know about Fork Fest. It's coming up June 14th through the 18th at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. It's going to be a different time. It's not going to be a centrally controlled festival. It's basically going to be libertarians camping at Rogers Campground without any kind of organizational structure whatsoever, unless you want to organize something. So if you want to organize a what do you got? A beer
mile?
A beer mile, which apparently will involve alcohol and running.
Yes,
together. Daryl's going to put that together.
No. You don't run with the alcohol. You finish the beer, and then you run a quarter mile, and then you finish a beer, and then you run. So 4 beers get consumed over the course of 1 mile.
And there's going to be some sort of entry fee in order to get involved in this, and Daryl's going to be putting all that together.
A couple other athletic events as well.
Yep. You're throwing a party as well, and I'm sure you won't be the only one doing that. We had a couple good parties last year during Fork Fest, during the first year, so this is the second year of Fork Fest. It's called Fork Fest not because it's a foodie event or anything like that. But it's because of forking, the idea of a movement splitting into two different directions.
Right. Now, Gene did mention having a 3D printer. So could you 3D print forks that say ForkFest?
You could, but it would be terribly expensive.
Really?
And time-consuming.
Yeah, because you have to design the actual thing.
Because it's a very slow process, the 3D
The printing itself takes time. Yeah, that's true. But you would also have to create, if somebody didn't already have a model of a fork out there, which they probably do, but if they didn't, then you'd have to design that or hire somebody to do that.
The 3D model wouldn't take long because there are things out there, you just modify it.
Forkfest.party is where you can go, and I know that Bill Domenico, who's one of the regular attendees of the camping events, the Libertarian camping events, he also has a 3D printer and is pretty good with it. So if you talk to him about that, he might be able to do that. But Forkfest.party, that's where you can link to the Forkfest forum, the Forkfest chats. There's chat rooms on Discord. There's also the Telegram Forkfest chat. So those are ways where you can get in touch with the people who are intending to attend Forkfest, and you can discuss what you might want to create. Maybe you just want to go camp. That's fine. Again, you don't have to ask anyone's permission except for Rogers Campground. They're the ones that'll sell you the camping site. But besides that, there's no entrance fee. There's no fee to attend Forkfest. There's no one that you could pay it to because there's no one in charge of the event. And it is there, again, June 14th through the 18th. Please go to forkfest.party to learn more about that. As we go to Mortified Penguin, he's on Skype. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. How you guys doing tonight?
Hey, good. You're calling from Virginia. What's on your mind?
Yeah, and what's up, Gene? This is Mortified Penguin from the Discord. Pleasure to talk to you too.
Hey, how you doing?
Well, I'm just calling about the Facebook. I just tuned in, so forgive me if you've already talked about this a little bit.
We actually haven't. We've been all into this Snowden NSA spying on Bitcoin story. But please, what about Facebook?
Okay, so, I mean, I've been meaning to call about this, and the whole time I was like, okay, Facebook stole your data. Facebook stole your data. What's the specifics? What did they steal? How did they steal it?
How did Facebook steal data? Everybody just gives them data.
That's what I see. So I don't see how it's necessarily what happened was necessarily against their end user agreement.
Who is saying this?
Hold on. So I'm aware of the story. So there was a company called Cambridge Analytica that was one of these third-party app things of, like you want to find out what sort of potato chip you are or whatever, you click I agree.
One of these stupid things that you see people sharing on Facebook.
And so Cambridge Analytica was taking data that people were authorizing them to take and then selling the data to the Trump administration.
Okay.
And there are people saying, Mark Zuckerberg gave my data to Trump.
But that's not correct.
I mean, yeah, they're just people are taking quizzes and they're putting basic information like their birth date and sex and their voluntarily, supplied location.
All of that can be used to steal your identity, by the way. But yes, that sounds like a terrible idea to do. But again, they're choosing to do it because they want to free whatever it is they get at the end.
The data was being used for targeted advertisement.
Yeah. But they do use data that you don't voluntarily disclose, like all of your metadata. And although you do, when you click on that agreement with them, you agree to 1,000 pages of stuff that you never read.
Yeah. Right.
And if you were ever to, I don't even know how that works, because if you were to challenge that in court, I'm pretty sure that you could say, darn well nobody reads those things. It's never fully disclosed and understood, and those are things that in a contract have to be fully disclosed and understood.
You could argue that there wasn't truly a meeting of the minds.
Right, and there was the company to sort of prove that nobody reads EULAs, the end-user licensing agreements. They wrote one of these really long things and added a clause that says, we own your soul.
Yeah.
And then they wound up contacting people, and everybody just sort of laughed and shrugged it off, but they were like,
you all right there?
Mortified
Penguin?
Going... I think he's mortified.
Sounds like he's writing on the microphone with like a pencil or something.
But the point was people don't actually read these things, and some people they were like, oh yeah, you're right, I don't actually read these, but it is kind of interesting of what could be hidden in there.
Well, if there were standing for a lawsuit against terms of service like that, why hasn't it happened yet? I mean, why hasn't a group of
so there should be. Somebody ought to do this.
Maybe because it would hurt the attorneys too much in general to bring a lawsuit like that. I don't know. It would seem to me that if there was a standing for that, that somebody would have done it by now, because there's probably a big cash-in that could be made on that.
Was there a real theft? Was there like is it a NAP violation? Is it something that people would honestly look at without the media saying your data was stolen and say, oh, something that I own was actually stolen? Like, what are the damages here?
A NAP violation is a non-aggression principle violation. So what are you saying would be the violation?
No, he's asking would Cambridge Analytica taking information of Facebook users be a violation of the non-aggression principle? But
people are voluntarily handing that information over.
Facebook is saying that Cambridge Analytica violated the Facebook terms of service by selling the information that they got somehow.
So they violated the long terms of service they probably didn't read by getting on and asking for information and then selling it later on down the line.
Correct.
They were trying to use that data to basically predict human behavior by cross-referencing all this data and crunching millions of data points, and apparently it wasn't very effective. But that's what they were trying to do. But I just don't see what's the damages here. What principle of law was actually broken?
That's probably why you don't see any suits, because there is no significant damage that you can point to. I mean, look, if you're handing over your birthday to somebody that's going to tell you which Disney princess you are after you're done with their survey, and you're taking their word for it that, we respect your privacy or whatever, but then there's some sort of clause in there that shows that they don't respect your privacy. I mean, what are you really going to do about that?
But as far as what law is being violated, the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act is written so broadly that everybody violates it. Mortified Penguin, you're violating it right now because I know for a fact that's not your birth name.
Oh, you got me.
Hey, Mortified, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you.
Although it's almost never used to wind up actually going against people that use pseudonyms on the internet. The wording of the CFAA is so broad that they could wind up charging someone for using a pseudonym on the internet.
So back to the story here from The Intercept about privacy on the internet, which of course barely exists. One of their experts, Green, says that again, this is another summary by the journalist, if you trust Bitcoin's underlying tech or that of another coin, you still need to be able to trust your connection to the internet. Green says he's, quote, pretty skeptical, unquote, that using Tor, the popular anonymizing browser, could thwart the NSA in the long term. And Darryl, you even suggested that the NSA might be involved in Tor to some extent, or that the government itself is somehow funding the Tor project at some level. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Of course, we'll take your calls and thoughts if you want to make them. Maybe more about Monkey Rocket, the secretive NSA program that is ostensibly being used to spy on people, possibly by the NSA running a VPN. This is Free Talk Live.
I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Cash. It's perfect for beginners, and the Bitcoin.com wallet makes using and holding Bitcoins easy. No logins are required. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com.
ID Stronghold wallets are different. They may look the same on the outside. They're stylish, they'll hold your cards and cash, but they're hiding something great on the inside. No, there are no pyrotechnics, and it doesn't sing when you open it. But it does have magical powers. ID Stronghold wallets protect your critical information and identity from thieves standing right next to you. Anyone can buy a cheap RFID scanner online and snag your information just by walking past you. Contactless credit cards, debit cards, even your work ID badge. ID Stronghold was the first to pioneer RFID blocking technology over 12 years ago. ID Stronghold's wallets, sleeves, and badge holders are trusted by the U.S. military and the Executive Office of the President. Some something the competitors can't say. Secure your identity and save 10% by using coupon code MAGIC at checkout for a limited time at idstronghold.com. idstronghold.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial toll free. Bring up what you want. Our number here is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype. The Skype username is lrn.fm. Plus, you can call us on the Discord on-air call-in line. Just join our Discord over at discord.lrn.fm. It is totally free. You can get interactive with other Free Talk Live listeners and some of the hosts in the Discord, and it is available 24/7. Although sometimes people aren't in there in the middle of the night. Sometimes they are. You never really know unless you check it out for yourself. And there's Discord apps available for pretty much all operating systems and phones out there. So check it out at discord.lrn.fm. If you want to support Free Talk Live directly, then please become a Free Talk Live amplifier. It makes a big difference for us. And really, we only have a couple hundred amplifiers. So if you think that everybody else is going to do it, they don't. If you value what we do here, please, it's $5 a month. It makes a big difference for us when you do that. Gene, you've been an amplifier for quite a while. Appreciate the support. And $5 a month also gets you some perks. So you get access to the AMP-only call-in lines, the AMP-only podcast, which doesn't have the normal commercials that our regular podcast does. You get special access to AMP-only Discord chat rooms. So you can only, if you're tired of talking to the leftist hanging out in the Free Talk Live chat and you just want to talk to Free Talk Live amplifiers, you can do that if you're an amper on the Discord. There's also the AMP-only badge for users on our forum. And so there's some cool perks that you get as an amplifier. Just head on over to amp.freetalklive.com.
Well, I only do it just because I want to hear liberty. That's it.
I appreciate that. I definitely do. And I certainly appreciate the people who might amp the show, even if they don't agree with everything that we say, or if they don't like one host over another, and they understand that, well, whether you don't like us all or whatever, we're still out there talking about liberty 7 nights a week on nearly 180 radio stations from coast to coast, on satellite across multiple different continents, and, of course, our podcasts. We're trying to get the word out there as much as we can about freedom. So if it's worth $5 a month to you, the price of a fancy cup of coffee or a cheeseburger, then please go to amp.freetalklive.com. You can use PayPal. You can use credit card. You can use Bitcoin Core to sign up, and we appreciate it. It's amp.freetalklive.com. As we continue here, a little bit more from, I'm jumping through because it is a fairly long piece. There's more information here where they get into the Silk Road and Liberty Reserve and the NSA's potential involvement in taking down those organizations. But towards the very end here of the piece at The Intercept, this has been about, we've mostly been talking about this sort of on and off throughout the show, Edward Snowden's documents coming out revealing the NSA has been snooping or attempting to snoop on Bitcoin users since at least 2013 when some of these documents came out. Civil libertarians and security researchers, say The Intercept, have long been concerned that otherwise inadmissible evidence from the agency is used to build cases against Americans through a process known as parallel construction, building a criminal case using admissible evidence obtained by first consulting other evidence which is kept secret out of courtrooms in the public eye. An earlier investigation by The Intercept, drawing on court records and documents from Snowden, found evidence that the NSA's most controversial forms of surveillance, which involve warrantless bulk monitoring of emails and fiber optic cables, may have been used in court via parallel construction. Patrick Toomey, an attorney with the ACLU's National Security Project, said the NSA's Bitcoin documents, although circumstantial, underscore a serious and ongoing question in American law enforcement. Quote, if the government's criminal investigations secretly relied on NSA spying, that would be a serious concern. And this is, by the way, something that was never proven in the Silk Road case, where there was suspicions that the DEA and the IRS, that were the agencies that were investigating the Silk Road, the underground drug market on tour, had used NSA data illegally obtained in order to conduct their investigations, which, of course, would be illegal, but since it was never proven, there's no allegation besides that.
And because the agent, and I forget which alphabet soup agency he worked for, but the agent that allegedly found the server, he never testified. Right. So the magical leprechaun unicorn story that he came up with was never able to be questioned.
No cross-examination of how.
So whatever, magical thing that he wrote, and people might say, well, he didn't actually write about leprechauns and unicorns. Right, but what he wrote does not fit within how computers work.
According to security experts.
So it might have been, it might as well have been a magical leprechaun on a flying unicorn.
Because it was never explained how they found the Silk Road server. And the best explanation is they used the NSA, but we didn't get the explanation during the trial.
And what he wrote in his affidavit or whatever it was basically sounded like brute force, which they're not allowed to do. So either he violated their own rules by brute forcing, or he violated the law by using the NSA. In either case, the evidence should have all been thrown out, but because he never took the stand, he couldn't be questioned, and so magical leprechaun.
It's shocking to think that the government may have lied to us.
Yep. Individuals.
This is my surprised face.
More from Patrick Toomey from the ACLU. He says individuals facing criminal prosecution have a right to know how the government came by its evidence so they can challenge whether the government's methods were lawful. That's a basic principle of due process. The government should not be hiding the true sources for its evidence in court by inventing a different trail. Unquote. Now, although the NSA document about Monkey Rocket, which is a secretive program that we're still not sure exactly what it is, that's helping them spy on people, stated the program's initial concern was counterterrorism. It also said that, quote, other targeted users will include those sought by NSA offices such as international crime and narcotics, follow the money, and Iran. Unquote. As March 2013 NSA memo said, agency staff were, quote, hoping to use Monkey Rocket for their mission of looking at organized crime and cyber targets that utilize online e-currency services to move and launder money, unquote. There's no elaboration on who is considered a cyber target. So definitely some disturbing news coming out of the NSA with the Edward Snowden documents. But should anybody really be that surprised that the government is looking into Bitcoin, that the government wants to know who's using Bitcoin, which IP addresses, who might be associated with those IP addresses?
Doesn't surprise me because they want to tax it. Doesn't matter whether they're taxing it as currency, as income, as commodity. Doesn't matter. They want their money.
They can't tax what they can't get their hands on, however, and that's why they're trying to get all this information about who might have the stuff.
And it's not so much that they want their money or they want our money, because they can print as much money as they want.
That's
what they
true.
really want is control, and the only way they can control people is if they know every transaction, everything you spend your money on, and they make you think that you need permission from them to make that transaction. They want control.
Which is one of the things that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies prevent them from having, is control. They're grasping at straws. They're trying to regulate the Bitcoin world, but they can only do so much. They can only come after the exchanges, the centralized locations where people come to get in and out of cryptocurrency. They can target them. They might be able to find some of the end users, but ultimately, even though they may know that somebody from an IP address has a Bitcoin wallet or had a Bitcoin wallet, that's no guarantee that that person still has that wallet. And if they can't find the wallet, then good luck proving that the person has the wallet, right? So
I lost all of my Bitcoin in a boating accident.
You very well could have. How can they prove that that's not true? I mean, if they get on your phone and they find Bitcoin, then okay, it's pretty clear that you were in control of that Bitcoin.
Oh, I thought I lost it in a boating accident.
You don't keep all your Bitcoin on your phone if you're smart, right? Like, because your phone could get lost in a boating accident. And yes, I understand. The Bitcoin's not actually on the phone. The phone has the keys to the blockchain that give you access.
The whole lost it in a boating accident, that's the joke about what happens when cops come to confiscate guns.
Yeah.
I lost them in a boating accident.
Yeah, you never. Well, of course, you shouldn't be answering questions the police are asking you anyway, but I get the point. Generally, it's a bad idea to answer any questions, to tell them any story
the
whatsoever.
claim is that whenever there was some gun control thing passed in Canada, there were a large number of guns that got lost in boating accidents.
Let's go to Sarah. She is not on a boat. She's in New Mexico.
She might be on a boat.
You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Sarah.
Maybe she has a boat in her apartment.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Well, they're going to raise the gas tax here. I'm all in favor of it.
Of course you are.
Cars on the road.
Raise it how much? $5 a gallon? What would you like to see? Gas taxes.
Have you ever met a tax you don't like?
Good question.
Well, you know what? I never buy gas. I don't have a car, so I love the cars to have to pay more money.
Of course you want other people to pay more money. But have you ever met a tax that you don't like?
It'll be a less pedestrian skill.
She's on a script here, Darryl. She's got
I know
important
she's
things
on
to
a
say.
script.
Hey, thanks for the call, I think. Gene, thanks for coming in and joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate that. And we'll be back tomorrow night. You can join us online in the meantime. Head on over to freetalklive.com. Don't forget to join the fun on our Discord at discord.lrn.fm.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
The Torchwood Report is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, March 23rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.61 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,347 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $18, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,465. Antiwar.com reports President Trump made clear earlier this week during his meeting with the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman that U.S. arms sales to the Saudis are a top priority. Already, the State Department has announced another $1 billion in arms sales to the Saudis. The sales are going to include 6,600 TOW-2B missiles at a cost of about $670 million, with the rest of the contract coming in the form of various parts for U.S.-made vehicles previously sold to the Saudi military. The State Department justified the sale as an attempt to help the Saudis build up their military to maintain stability. Such sales need to be endorsed by both state and defense officials as having some U.S. national security component, though this is trivial since the administration's goals are so tied to increased arms sales. Saudi Arabia is the largest buyer of U.S. arms, but sales have been increasingly resisted in Congress because of the massive numbers of civilians killed in airstrikes against Yemen. Historically, the Saudis have been able to get sales approved, but the votes have in recent years gotten closer and closer. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports rent prices in the United States are rising at their fastest level in 21 months, according to a survey by Zillow. The survey found that the median rent rose 2.8% over the past year to $1,445 per month. The fastest rate increases occurred along the West Coast in Sacramento, California, Riverside, California, and Seattle, Washington. Sacramento saw the fastest rent rise with 8% since last February for an average of $1,849 per month. Home purchases have also suffered due to high mortgage rates, leading more people to opt to renting instead of buying. Zillow senior economist Aaron Terrazas said rental appreciation slowed between 2015 and mid-2017, but is once again picking up steam, re-accelerating over the past 9 months. For-sale inventory is tight, and with home prices continuing their rapid climb, it's becoming more and more difficult for renters to become owners, forcing them to rent longer than they otherwise would have. Searching for the right home has become a drawn-out affair, and rising prices require more saving for a down payment. Were it not for strong new apartment construction over the past half-decade, rental appreciation would be even stronger than it is now. According to CNBC, apartment occupancy around the country was at 95% at the end of 2017 and is expected to increase. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com.
Reuters reports the mayor of Sacramento, California, said on Thursday he was horrified by video showing police officers firing 20 gunshots at an unarmed man who was slain in his backyard. Police in Sacramento, the state capital, said the video from body cameras worn by officials involved in Sunday night's confrontation showed the victim, Stephen Clark, holding an object that was later discovered to be his cell phone. The video was released by police late on Wednesday, and by Thursday it had gone viral on the internet. More than 200 demonstrators gathered on Thursday to denounce the shooting in a protest organized by the Black Lives Matter movement. The protest was orderly, and police allowed a group of demonstrators to march up an entrance ramp to interstate highways at the height of rush hour and block traffic. Organizers described shooting deaths of minorities by police as disturbingly commonplace. Mayor Darryl Steinberg said at a news conference, "Like any compassionate person, I was horrified by the death of a young Sacramento man who we later found out had 2 children. What was my reaction? It was horrible." Protesters marched into the City Hall lobby shouting, "It's a phone, not a gun," and demanded a meeting with the police chief.